If you want to change your life in a real and lasting way before 2026, this is the moment to start. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be comes down to the choices you make today. In this video, you'll learn 10 important things that you must do to create real progress in your life. These aren't just ideas to think about. They are clear actions that anyone can take, no matter their situation. Imagine waking up each day feeling stronger, more focused, and in control of your future. That feeling is possible when you commit to these steps. Stay with me, because what you'll discover here could completely change how you live, work, and grow over the next few years. This is your chance to take charge and make the changes you've been waiting for. Chapter 1. Take full responsibility for every part of your life. Most people live their lives waiting for a better time, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for someone else to help them get unstuck. They wait for motivation, for support, for life to change before they decide to take their next step. But the truth is simple and unchanging. No real growth begins until you take full responsibility for every part of your life. This is the first and most important step, and without it, nothing else will work. Until you stop pointing outward and start looking inward, your progress will be delayed, and your potential will stay trapped under excuses. Taking responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything that's gone wrong. It means accepting that your life in its current state is your responsibility to change. The moment you decide that you are the one in control, the one who chooses how to respond, how to grow, how to move forward, that is the moment your life starts to shift. Responsibility is the foundation of freedom. Without it, you're tied to circumstances. With it, you gain control over your mindset, your habits, your choices, and your future. People often say they want to improve, but they carry with them a list of justifications for why they haven't yet. They say they're too tired, too busy, too late, too old, too afraid. They blame their past, their parents, their job, their partner. But as long as you blame something outside yourself, you remain powerless. You give away your strength to everything you can't control, and that's a dangerous way to live, because life is filled with things outside your control. The only power you will ever truly have is the power to choose your next action, your next thought, your next attitude. To take full responsibility means to stop hiding from what needs to change. It means facing your bad habits with honesty. It means acknowledging where you've failed and where you've made excuses. It means saying, I haven't done what I need to do, without shame, and then deciding, I will begin now. This is not about guilt, it's about growth. When you stop wasting energy defending your weaknesses and start building your strength, you make space for real transformation. Responsibility is not a switch you flip once. It's a mindset you develop daily. Every time you hit snooze, you are deciding who is in control. Every time you skip what matters for what's easy, you are making a choice about your future. Every moment is a reflection of your standards. And the painful truth is, we live the life we tolerate. If you tolerate disorganization, your life will be messy. If you tolerate excuses, your results will be weak. If you tolerate low loan, bad habits, broken commitments, your life will reflect that. But if you raise your standards and demand more from yourself, things begin to change. No one can do this for you. People can support you, guide you, even inspire you, but the decision to own your life is yours alone. This is the part most people avoid. They want motivation without effort. They want success without discomfort. But growth doesn't work that way. You will never improve until you're willing to get uncomfortable, to confront the parts of yourself that are lazy, undisciplined, or afraid, and to choose action anyway. Every area of your life reflects your mindset. If your finances are in chaos, it reflects your habits, your planning, your attitude toward money. If your relationships are filled with conflict, it reflects how you communicate, how you listen, how you manage your emotions. If your health is suffering, it reflects what you eat, how you move, how you rest. It's not about perfection, it's about ownership. When you stop saying this is just the way I am, and start asking what can I do to improve this, you start to build a new life. Responsibility is the opposite of victimhood. Victimhood keeps you stuck. It says I can't do anything unless life is perfect. Responsibility says I can move forward even when life is hard. Life is always going to be unpredictable. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart, but your progress depends on what you do when things go wrong. Do you freeze? Do you give up? Or do you take control of your mindset, make a plan and move anyway? There is deep power in knowing that you are the one in charge. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your fears or your regrets. You are the person who decides what happens next. And the quality of your life depends on how often you remember that. This is not about being rigid or harsh with yourself. It's about being honest. If you want to improve your health, stop waiting for the perfect diet. Start today by drinking more water. If you want better relationships, stop waiting for people to change. Start showing up as the kind of person you want to attract. If you want more success, stop scrolling, stop avoiding, stop delaying. Get serious about your goals. Study, work, practice. Take the first step, then the next. When you commit to this mindset, you'll notice something else. Excuses start to lose their power. You begin to recognize them as noise. They might show up, but they don't stop you anymore. You hear them, but you act anyway. You stop looking for someone to blame. You stop waiting for permission. You stop making your future someone else's responsibility. The world doesn't owe you growth. No one is coming to fix your life. You have to build it. You have to earn your confidence, your clarity, your purpose through effort, through discipline, through consistency. Every action you take becomes a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. And the more responsibility you take, the more powerful you feel. It's not always easy. You will fail. You will have days where you fall short. But the difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck is simple. Those who grow take ownership even when they fail. They learn, they adjust, they take another step. They don't wait for everything to feel right. They act anyway, and over time that consistent action builds something unshakable: self-respect. When you start living this way, everything changes. You become stronger. You stop needing outside validation. You stop chasing things that don't matter. You simplify. You focus. You choose your priorities and protect them. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. And even though life is still challenging, you meet those challenges with strength, not fear. This mindset will change your relationships too. When you take responsibility, you become a better listener, a better communicator, a better friend, partner, parent. You stop blaming others for your frustration and start managing your emotions. You stop needing people to behave a certain way to feel at peace. You find that peace inside yourself because it's built on integrity and discipline. Taking responsibility also frees you from shame. You no longer need to pretend to be perfect. You're not focused on hiding your flaws. You're focused on growing past them. You realize that self-respect doesn't come from being flawless. It comes from being honest, from showing up, from doing what needs to be done even when it's hard. You start to trust yourself because you see yourself taking action. You see the results. You see how your effort builds momentum. And once that momentum takes hold, you no longer fear change. You welcome it. You stop living passively and start building your life on purpose. The most important thing to understand is that this is not a one-time decision. It's a daily one. Every morning, you decide again. Will you lead your life or follow your impulses? Will you move forward or stay the same? Will you take ownership or give it away? No matter where you are right now, you can begin. You can decide that this year, this season, this moment is where everything starts to shift. Not because life gets easier, but because you stop waiting and start taking full control. This decision will not just change your habits, it will change your identity. You'll stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes things will get better. You'll become the kind of person who makes things better. This chapter is your foundation. Every principle that follows depends on this one truth. Your life belongs to you. If you want growth, if you want peace, if you want freedom, you must take responsibility for creating it. You must do the work. You must show up every day and build something stronger than your excuses. The clock is ticking. 2026 is not far away. You don't need to be perfect by then. You don't need to have everything figured out. But you do need to start. Start by owning your choices. Start by holding yourself to a higher standard. Start by rejecting victimhood and choosing power. Every day you take responsibility, you gain more clarity, more direction, more strength, and that strength builds a life you can be proud of, not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Fully owned, fully built, fully. Chapter 2. Wake up early and master your morning routine. Waking up early is not about being a morning person. It's about building control over how your day begins. When you start your day on purpose, you gain time, clarity, and energy that most people miss. Early mornings give you space to think without interruption, to set direction before the noise of the world takes over, and to invest in yourself before anything else gets a say. If your mornings are rushed, reactive, and chaotic, that rhythm spreads into everything you do. But if you rise with intention, your mindset sharpens, your confidence grows, and your discipline begins to shape the rest of your life. Most people live in reaction. They wake up at the last minute, check their phones immediately, and rush through the motions without any sense of calm. They're already behind before the day has even started. This creates stress, fatigue, and frustration before anything meaningful has even happened. But when you rise early, before the demands and distractions arrive, you give yourself the upper hand. You move with purpose instead of panic. You build the kind of control that influences everything else. Your thoughts, your energy, your focus. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. or follow someone else's schedule. This is not about copying others. It's about creating a system that works for your life. What matters is that you wake up earlier than you usually do, and that you use that time to grow, to plan, to prepare yourself for the day ahead. Even 1 hour earlier can transform your life if you use it wisely. That single hour can be the difference between direction and distraction, between clarity and confusion, between peace and pressure. The morning is the only part of the day you fully control before messages arrive, before demands pile up, before the world pulls at you. If you use that time to align with what matters, you start to feel grounded. You're not rushed because you already made space for yourself. You're not anxious because you already checked in with your mind and body. You're not scattered because you already chose your priorities. A strong morning sets the tone for strong choices, and strong choices lead to a strong life. Your morning routine doesn't need to be complicated, but it must be intentional. It should be designed around who you want to become. If you want to be focused, your morning should include silence and clarity. If you want to be strong, it should include movement. If you want to be calm, it should include stillness. If you want to be productive, it should include planning. The routine doesn't need to be perfect, but it needs to be done with purpose, consistently. The key is showing up before everything else begins, proving to yourself each day that you are in charge. Waking up early teaches you discipline. It requires you to say no to comfort and yes to progress. It forces you to manage your evenings better so you can rise without regret. It makes you face your distractions, your habits, and your energy levels. That's why so many people resist it, because it demands honesty. But that honesty is where change begins. If you want to grow, you must be willing to confront what holds you back, and often, that starts with how you begin your day. The world rewards those who are prepared. It favors the person who's already thinking, while others are still distracted. It favors the person who's already moving, while others are still waiting. When you wake up early and master your routine, you become that person. You're no longer drifting. You're leading. You're making time for what matters, instead of just reacting to what shows up. That leadership starts with the simple decision to rise before the world demands your attention, and to use that time to shape your mind, body, and actions. The value of a morning routine isn't in checking boxes, it's in creating consistency. It's in building a sense of certainty at the start of the day. When you know how your morning will begin, your brain has less to resist. You build momentum early, you build discipline without friction. Over time, the routine becomes a habit, and that habit becomes your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who shows up, who prepares, who leads from within. And that identity brings strength in every other part of life. A powerful routine might begin with something as simple as making your bed. That one act is a signal. You've started. You've taken control. It could be followed by stretching your body, breathing deeply, reviewing your plan, reading a few pages from a powerful book, or writing in a journal. These are not just tasks. These are moments where you center yourself. You decide how to think, how to move, how to feel. You set your direction on purpose. And once you've done that, your actions are no longer random. They're aligned. Many people underestimate the power of small habits done daily. They look for breakthroughs, but ignore the discipline that leads to them. The truth is, change begins in the boring moments, the quiet repetitions, the choice to wake up early, even when it's easier to sleep, the choice to stay off your phone, even when it's tempting, the choice to sit in silence and listen to your thoughts, even when your mind is busy. These are not dramatic actions, but they are life-shaping ones. You will not always feel like getting up early. There will be days when you are tired, distracted, frustrated, but that's where the opportunity lies. Anyone can follow a routine when they're motivated. Growth comes when you do it without motivation. When you rise early, because you said you would. When you stick to your plan, because your future matters more than your comfort. That kind of consistency builds internal power. It trains your mind to do what needs to be done, not just what feels good. It's also important to protect your mornings by managing your nights. You cannot wake up early if you're wasting hours scrolling, watching meaningless content, or escaping through distractions. Your evening is what prepares you for the next day. If you treat your sleep and rest seriously, you give yourself the energy to rise early and focus. If you stay up too late doing things that don't serve you, your mornings will collapse, and your routine will fall apart. Discipline is not just about what you do, it's about what you stop doing. There's a deeper benefit to waking up early that people don't always talk about. It creates a quiet space where you can think. In that space, you hear yourself more clearly. You recognize what you've been avoiding. You see where you're headed. You ask better questions. You make better choices. That clarity cannot be found in the middle of the day when distractions are everywhere. It's found in the early hours, when the world is quiet and you are present. Eventually your morning becomes something you look forward to, not because it's easy, but because it's yours. It becomes your anchor in a noisy world. It becomes your personal space to grow, to reflect, to prepare. It becomes your most powerful habit, and through that habit, everything else becomes sharper. Your thoughts, your goals, your time, your life. You don't need motivation to begin. You need commitment. You need to decide that the cost of staying stuck is greater than the discomfort of getting up. You need to believe that the life you want is worth the effort it requires. That belief must be renewed every day, and each time you rise early and follow through, you strengthen it. This is not about being perfect. You will have mornings that don't go as planned. That's normal. What matters is that you keep returning, you keep adjusting, you keep building. Progress is not found in flawless execution. It's found in persistence, in showing up again and again, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard, you have the power to design how each day begins. That power is a gift, and it's available to you right now. You don't need to wait for the new year or a fresh start. You don't need to wait for ideal conditions. You need to wake up tomorrow earlier than usual. Decide how you want to begin, and follow through. Do that again the next day, and the next. Build a life that starts with discipline, intention, and strength every morning. That's how transformation begins. Quietly, consistently, one sunrise at a time. Chapter 3. Write down clear goals and review them daily. There is a difference between having a dream and building a life. Dreams live in your mind. Goals live on paper. Until you write your goals down, they don't exist in any form that can shape your future. They remain vague, shifting thoughts, nice ideas, but without structure or weight. Writing down your goals is an act of commitment. It forces you to get clear. It takes something invisible and makes it visible. It creates direction where there was only hope. A written goal is no longer just a wish. It becomes a decision. It becomes a target, a reference point, and a reason to act with purpose. When you write your goals down, you bring order to your life. You stop moving through each day by default and start living by design. You begin to shape your time, your energy, and your actions around what matters most. You wake up with intention. You move with clarity. You spend less time drifting and more time doing. That clarity gives you an edge. It cuts through the noise of distraction and emotion. It reminds you what you are working toward and why it matters now. Most people avoid setting goals because they are afraid of failure. They fear writing something down only to fall short. But that fear is a distraction. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you passive. The real failure is not aiming and missing. The real failure is never aiming at all. The act of writing your goals is not about being perfect. It's about becoming serious. It's about choosing to stop wandering and start building. And if you fall short, you adjust. You refine. You keep going. But at least you're on a path that leads somewhere worth going. A clear goal is specific. It's not general. I want to get in shape is vague. I want to work out 4 times a week and lose 10 pounds by the end of the season is a goal. It has a structure. It has a timeline. It has a measurable outcome. When your goal is clear, it becomes easier to measure your progress. You know when you're on track, and you know when you're not. You stop guessing, and you start tracking. That simple shift changes your behavior. You begin to hold yourself accountable, not because someone is watching, but because you respect your own word. It's not enough to write your goals once and forget about them. They must stay in front of you. They must be reviewed daily, because life is loud and full of distractions. If you don't remind yourself of your goals, you'll fall back into old patterns. Reviewing your goals is how you keep them alive. It's how you align your actions with your vision. It's how you bring your focus back when you've drifted. The world won't remind you of what matters to you. That's your job. And you must do it consistently. Your brain is always responding to what you focus on. If you review your goals daily, your mind begins to filter the world differently. It starts looking for opportunities, resources, and strategies to help you move closer to your targets. You become more aware of your habits. You begin to notice where your time is being wasted. You start to question what you say yes to and what you allow to distract you. Your goal becomes more than just a sentence. It becomes a lens through which you make every decision. Writing and reviewing your goals is not just a mental exercise, it's emotional. It connects you to your deeper values. It reminds you why you started. It gives you fuel when motivation fades. You will not always feel inspired, but if you stay connected to your purpose, you will keep moving. You must revisit your goals not just with your mind, but with your heart. You must ask yourself, what would this mean for me? What would it change? What would it feel like to accomplish this? The process of reviewing your goals should become part of your daily rhythm. It doesn't have to take long. It can be 5 minutes in the morning, reading what you wrote and visualizing what it means. It can be a quiet moment where you reconnect with your direction and reset your attitude. It's a reminder of who you are becoming and what you've decided to build. Without that reminder, it's easy to drift. With it, you stay focused even when things get difficult. Your goals should stretch you. They should make you uncomfortable. If they don't challenge you, they won't change you. A weak goal creates a weak response. A strong goal forces you to rise. It demands more of you. It pushes you to improve your habits, manage your time better, and step into discomfort. That pressure is what sharpens your discipline. It's what separates those who wish from those who execute. And the more you show up for your goals, the more confident you become, not because it's easy, but because you're doing the work. There will be days when you don't want to look at your goals. You'll feel behind. You'll feel frustrated. You'll question whether you're making any progress. That's normal. It's part of the process. But those are the moments that matter most. If you only review your goals when things are going well, they'll disappear when things get tough. If you learn to stay close to your goals even when it's hard, you build something stronger than motivation. You build resilience. You should write your goals with your own hand. Don't just type them. Write them in a notebook. There's something powerful about putting pen to paper. It slows your mind. It forces you to think clearly. It makes the goal feel more real. Keep that notebook with you. Let it become a record of your growth. When you look back, you'll see the path you've taken. You'll see how you've refined your vision. You'll see how far you've come. Don't wait for the new year or a special occasion to set your goals. The best time to get clear is now. Every day you delay is a day you drift. Every day you avoid clarity is a day you live without direction. And time is not coming back. You cannot recover wasted years, but you can take control of today. You can decide right now that your life deserves more focus, more intention, more structure. Writing down your goals and reviewing them is not a trend. It's not a productivity hack. It's a habit of people who take their lives seriously. It's how you train your mind to focus on what matters. It's how you stop being reactive and start becoming intentional. And it's available to you at any moment. All you need is a quiet space, a blank page, and a willingness to be honest with yourself. You don't need to know every step right away. You just need to know what matters and where you're going. Clarity creates action. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates belief, and belief fuels consistency. That cycle begins when you decide to stop leaving your goals in your head and start putting them in front of your eyes. This is not about pressure. It's about power. The power to choose your direction. The power to design your time. The power to live with purpose. Most people never give themselves that power. They wait. They wish. They stay vague. But you are not most people. You are here because you want to change. You want to grow. You want to live with strength and meaning. And that begins with writing your goals clearly and returning to them every single day. Your future is not something you find. it's something you create. You create it by deciding what matters, by writing it down, and by aligning your life with it daily. This habit may seem small, but it is the seed of everything you will build. Don't skip it. Don't delay it. Make it part of who you are. Begin now. Write what you want. Review it daily. Live it fully. Chapter 4. Build discipline by doing hard things every day. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is not a personality trait. It is not a talent that some people just happen to have. Discipline is built through action, and it grows stronger every time you do something difficult instead of something easy. You develop discipline by confronting resistance, not avoiding it. You create it by choosing effort over comfort again and again until it becomes part of who you are. Every time you choose to do something hard on purpose, you reinforce your ability to lead yourself. Most people live in patterns shaped by avoidance. They avoid discomfort, they avoid challenge, and they avoid anything that requires effort without an immediate reward. But comfort is a trap. The more you chase it, the weaker you become. The more you surrender to it, the more fragile your mindset gets. The real growth happens when you go toward what's difficult, when you don't want to train, and you do it anyway. When you don't feel motivated, but you still follow through. When you're tired, bored, or uncertain, and you keep your word to yourself, that is where discipline is born. Doing hard things daily is not about punishment, it is about power. You are not proving something to others. You are proving to yourself that you are capable of leading your own behavior, that you are not ruled by emotion, laziness, or distraction. That you are strong enough to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. That kind of power can't be borrowed. It must be earned through action, through repetition, through daily choices that move you forward. Discipline begins with the small things. Waking up when the alarm goes off instead of hitting snooze. Finishing the workout instead of quitting halfway. Saying no to distractions when it's time to focus. Keeping your promises even when no one is watching. These moments seem minor, but they build the foundation of your character. They create the structure that holds your goals together when things get difficult. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about showing up. It is about deciding who you want to become and acting like it every single day. Hard things come in many forms. For some, it's having an uncomfortable conversation. For others, it's sticking to a nutrition plan. It might be studying for an exam, practicing a new skill, or facing a fear. What matters is not what the hard thing is, it's that you face it on purpose, that you choose the harder path, because you know that's where growth lives. Easy paths never lead to strength. They lead to regret. The path of discipline is difficult, but it is the only one that leads to freedom. You do not need to be extreme. You need to be consistent. Doing one difficult thing each day is enough to shift your mindset. Each time you push through resistance, you build inner strength. Each time you resist the urge to quit, you build mental endurance. Over time, your tolerance for discomfort increases, and your excuses lose their power. What once felt impossible becomes normal. What once felt heavy becomes light. That is how real transformation happens, not through big breakthroughs, but through daily struggle faced with intention. One of the greatest benefits of doing hard things is that it quiets your inner critic. When you avoid challenges, your mind fills with doubt and frustration. But when you take action, even when it's uncomfortable, you silence that voice. You replace doubt with evidence. You replace fear with experience. And every small win becomes a reminder that you are capable of more. You start to trust yourself. You stop needing external approval. You begin to walk through life with a quiet confidence that comes from discipline, not luck. Discipline also simplifies your decision. When you train yourself to act based on what matters rather than how you feel, you waste less energy on negotiations with yourself. You don't need to ask, "Should I do this?" You already know the answer. You already built the habit of showing up. That clarity frees you from hesitation. It gives you more time, more focus, and more results. When you eliminate the option to quit, you spend more energy doing the work that matters. Most people wait for motivation, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Discipline is what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. If you only act when you feel inspired, you will never reach your potential. The real breakthroughs happen when you act without it. When you don't want to write, but you sit down anyway. When you don't want to train, but you show up anyway. That kind of action is what separates those who succeed from those who just talk about success. You must also understand that discipline is a form of self-respect. When you choose what is difficult, you are choosing your future self over your present comfort. You are saying, "My goals matter, my growth matters, my time matters." That choice builds character. It builds integrity, and it creates momentum that carries you through challenges. The more you choose what's hard, the more you realize that you can handle far more than you thought. You stop running from effort. You start chasing it. Doing hard things also changes how you see the world. You stop expecting things to be easy. You stop being surprised by struggle. You start to see effort as a natural part of the process. That mindset keeps you from quitting when things go wrong. It helps you keep perspective. It helps you stay focused when others get distracted. It turns obstacles into training. It turns pressure into fuel. There will be days when you slip, days when you don't show up the way you wanted to. That's part of it. Discipline doesn't mean you never fail. It means you recover quickly. You don't let one bad moment turn into a bad day. You don't let one bad day turn into a pattern. You recognize the slip, you take ownership, and you get back on track. That's what strong people do. They keep moving. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to compare your path to someone else's. This is about you becoming the kind of person who does what's hard because it's right, because it makes you stronger, because it leads to the life you want. The goal is not comfort. The goal is growth. And growth always demands sacrifice. Time, energy, effort. Those are the prices of improvement. But the reward is a life of power, purpose, and pride. You already know what you need to do. You don't need more advice. You need to act. You need to choose the task that makes you hesitate and do it anyway. You need to build the habit of facing resistance head on. And once you begin, you don't stop. You keep going. You keep doing the hard things, not because you feel like it, but because you made a promise to yourself, and you honor that promise every single day. The strongest people are not the ones with the easiest lives. They are the ones who trained themselves to do what others avoid. They became strong because they did hard things, and you can too. Not all at once. Not overnight, but slowly, daily, intentionally. Start with one thing. Do it even when it's uncomfortable, then do another. Stack those wins. Build that power. Watch your life shift. This is not motivation. This is discipline. This is the practice of showing up for yourself again and again, of doing what's difficult on purpose, of building strength that no one can give you and no one can take away. That is how you grow. That is how you win. That is how you build a life that stands firm when everything around you gets shaky. Do hard things every day. That's where the real change lives. Chapter 5. Break all toxic habits that slow your progress. There comes a time in your life when you must stop adding more and start removing what no longer serves you. It is not always about doing more, working harder, or adding another habit. Sometimes, the most powerful move you can make is to break the things that hold you back in silence. Toxic habits do not always scream for attention. They often hide in the background, draining your focus, weakening your confidence, and stealing the energy you need to grow. You cannot build a strong life on top of weak behaviors. If you are serious about your progress, you must identify and eliminate the habits that keep you stuck. Toxic habits are not just about the obvious things like smoking, drinking excessively, or wasting hours scrolling. They are also the patterns you've justified over time. The way you speak to yourself with doubt, the way you avoid challenges, the way you delay action by overthinking. These behaviors, even if they seem small, add up. They create an invisible weight. They shape how you think, how you act, and what you tolerate from yourself. The longer you allow them to stay, the more damage they do. Breaking a toxic habit begins with honesty. You must stop lying to yourself. You must stop pretending that your distractions don't matter or that your excuses are valid. You have to face your behavior without denial. Look at what you do every day. Look at the patterns that repeat. Look at how you spend your time when no one is watching. That's where the truth is, and only when you face it without defending it can you start to change it. Habits are built through repetition. They become automatic when practiced long enough. This means that a toxic habit is not just a bad choice, it's a system you've trained yourself to follow. To break it, you must interrupt that system. You must catch yourself in the moment and choose differently. You must replace the old routine with something better. This will be uncomfortable at first. Your brain will resist. You'll feel the urge to go back, but that discomfort is not a sign of failure. It's a sign that change is happening. You don't need to break every toxic habit at once. You need to focus on one. Find the one that is doing the most damage. It might be procrastination, negative self-talk, poor sleep patterns, unhealthy eating, impulsive spending, or something else that you've normalized. Choose one and attack it with everything you have. Build awareness around it. Write about it. Track it. Replace it with a healthy behavior. And most importantly, stay consistent long enough to weaken its grip on you. Progress is not just about addition. It is about subtraction. Every toxic habit you eliminate frees up mental and emotional space. You begin to think clearer. You become more decisive. You stop wasting energy on damage control. This space allows new habits to grow. It creates room for new standards. It gives you back the time and energy that your bad habits used to steal from you without permission. You must also be aware of your environment. Many toxic habits are supported by the people and places around you. If you want to break the cycle, you may need to change your inputs. That means limiting exposure to people who encourage your worst behavior. It means rethinking your routines, your physical space, and the way you spend idle time. Your environment either reinforces your discipline or it destroys it. You must create an atmosphere where the toxic habit is harder to repeat and the healthy choice becomes easier to make. Breaking a toxic habit is not just about willpower. It's about systems. If you rely on willpower alone, you will fail when you're tired, stressed, or emotionally vulnerable. But if you design systems that remove temptation, reduce friction, and reward progress, you will give yourself a real chance to win. This might mean uninstalling certain apps, setting boundaries around your schedule, or creating a ritual that replaces the habit with something meaningful. The more intentional your system, the less you leave to chance. Don't underestimate the emotional pull of toxic habits. Many of them are not just patterns of action, but patterns of coping. You use them to numb, to avoid, to distract. Breaking them might surface uncomfortable emotions. That's normal. You must face what you've been avoiding. That's where real strength is built. Not in hiding from discomfort, but in standing still long enough to face it and grow through it. This is not weakness. This is the work of building inner power. You will stumble, you will have days where you go back to the old pattern. But that doesn't mean you failed. It means you are human. What matters is what you do next. Do you give up or do you reset? The goal is not to be flawless. The goal is to be relentless. You fall and you get up. You repeat the new behavior even when it feels awkward. You remind yourself why you started. You don't negotiate with your old self. You build a new one. Track your improvement. Write down the days you succeeded. Notice how you feel when the toxic habit is absent. Notice how much clearer you think, how much more time you have, how much more confident you become. These are the real rewards, not the temporary pleasure of the bad habit, but the long-term pride of becoming someone who takes control. Let your own growth be the fuel to keep going. Breaking toxic habits is not a side task. It is the foundation of transformation. You cannot go far if you are constantly pulling yourself backward. You cannot rise while holding on to patterns that drain you. At some point you must decide that your future matters more than your comfort, that your health, your goals, your relationships, your peace are more important than a few moments of distraction, escape or denial. There is a version of you who doesn't need those habits, a version who is stronger, sharper, calmer, and more focused. That version is not built through luck. It is built through conscious effort, through daily decisions, and through the willingness to let go of what no longer fits the life you want to create. You have the power to break anything that weakens you. You do not have to carry it into your future. Your identity will start to shift when you break the habit. You will stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles and start seeing yourself as someone who overcomes. You will stop living with guilt and start living with pride, and the more you act from that new identity, the more solid it becomes. You create a new standard, one that does not include behaviors that sabotage your growth. You don't need more time to start. You don't need the perfect plan. You need honesty, action, and consistency. You need to recognize the toxic pattern and interrupt it today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today. You can stop. You can change. You can move forward. Every moment you wait is another moment lost to the very habit you want to escape. There is no progress without removal. If you want to grow fast, remove what slows you down. This is the real work. This is the kind of decision that changes everything. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Not because it happens overnight, but because it happens with intention. Choose your habits like your future depends on them. Because it does. Chapter 6. Create a powerful system to manage your time. Time is the most valuable resource you have, yet it is also the easiest to waste. You cannot buy more of it, you cannot recover what is lost, and you cannot pause it for convenience. Every moment that passes is gone forever. Which means how you use your time will determine the quality of your life. Without a system to manage your time, you will drift from task to task, pulled in every direction by distractions, interruptions, and other people's priorities. But when you build a clear and powerful system, you take back control. You stop reacting to life and begin leading it. A time management system is not just about filling every minute with activity. It is about creating structure, intention, and clarity. It gives you the ability to know exactly what needs your attention, when it needs it, and how you'll approach it. It's the tool that lets you protect your energy, stay focused, and build momentum. Without a system, even the most motivated person will waste hours and wonder where the day went. But with one, even an average person can accomplish extraordinary things by being consistent and efficient. The first step in managing your time is understanding where it currently goes. Most people have no idea how their hours are spent. They overestimate their productivity and underestimate how much time they waste. You cannot fix what you don't track. For 1 full week, write down everything you do, and when you do it, be brutally honest. At the end of that week, you'll see the truth. You'll see patterns. You'll see how much time disappears into meaningless scrolling, overthinking, procrastinating, or reacting to low-priority distractions. That clarity is your starting point. Once you know where your time goes, you must divide your day into focused blocks. Time blocking is not about being rigid, it's about being deliberate. It's about giving every task a home instead of letting it wander. You create blocks for deep work, for rest, for learning, for planning, and for essential responsibilities. You decide when you'll do what, and for how long. When you assign time to a task, you're not just organizing your day, you're making a commitment to honor your priorities. Within each block, eliminate everything that pulls your focus away. You cannot do focused work while switching between tasks. Multitasking destroys concentration and drains energy. If you want to manage time effectively, do one thing at a time, fully, with all your attention, then move on. Every time you break your focus to check something or reply instantly to every message, you reset your mental momentum. That delay adds up and ruins productivity. Protect your focus like it's your future, because it is. You must also identify your most important tasks, the ones that move your life forward. These are your high-value activities. They are not always urgent, but they are always essential. Schedule these tasks during your peak energy hours. Everyone has a time of day when their mind is sharpest. Use that time wisely. Don't waste your best hours on things that don't matter. Use them for the work that demands your full attention and creativity. This one shift can double your output without adding more hours. Build daily routines around your system. Morning routines prepare your mind. Evening routines help you reflect and reset. Transition routines help you move from one task to the next with purpose. These simple rituals reduce decision fatigue, increase consistency, and keep your actions aligned with your goals. Without routines, your energy gets scattered. But with them, you create flow. You build momentum from the moment your day begins to the moment it ends. One of the most overlooked aspects of time management is saying no. You cannot manage time if you agree to everything. Every yes to something meaningless is a no to something meaningful. You must protect your schedule like it matters, because it does. Your calendar should reflect your values, not your fears. If you say yes out of guilt, obligation, or pressure, you give away your most precious resource to things that don't deserve it. Discipline is not just doing what you planned, it's refusing what you did. Review your schedule weekly. Look at what worked, what didn't, and what needs to be adjusted. This habit keeps your system alive. It keeps you from drifting back into chaos. Use this review to plan your next week with precision. Block your key tasks, set your goals, and remove anything that no longer fits. A plan made in advance removes stress during the week. You don't have to think about what to do next. You already decided. Include margin in your system. Not every hour should be filled. Life is unpredictable. You need space for the unexpected. You need breaks to rest and recover. A tight, overbooked schedule is not efficient. It's exhausting. Efficiency comes from balance. It comes from managing your energy, not just your time. You are not a machine. If you don't rest, you'll break. Use your system to include recovery as part of your productivity. A rested mind works faster and solves problems better. Use tools that help you stay organized. Digital calendars, task lists, note apps. These are your allies if used properly. But do not let them become distractions. Keep your tools simple and consistent. Choose one main system and stick with it. Don't jump between apps and methods. That only adds confusion. The power of any tool comes from how consistently you use it. What matters is not how fancy your system is, but how faithfully you follow it. Time management is also about managing your thoughts. You will be tempted to delay. You will convince yourself that there's time later. That mindset is the enemy. The truth is, later becomes never if you don't act now. Your system should include a bias for action, a rule that says, if it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. A rule that says, don't start the day without knowing your top 3 priorities. These simple rules remove hesitation and help you build trust with yourself. The more you stick to your system, the more powerful you become. You start to get things done without stress. You move with clarity instead of confusion. You begin to see results, not because you work harder, but because you work smarter. You stop wasting hours on things that don't matter. You stop reacting to life and start shaping it. You become the kind of person who gets things done, not in a rush, but in control. There will always be people who say they don't have time, but everyone has the same 24 hours. The difference is not time. The difference is the system. The difference is whether you lead your time or let it lead you. Your system doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work, and it only works if you use it every day. You refine it over time. You adjust it as you grow, but you don't abandon it. You stay committed because you know what's at stake. A strong time management system is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. It's about removing what's useless, organizing what's important, and following through with discipline. It's about building a life that reflects your vision. Instead of reacting to everything that shows up, you don't need more hours. You need more clarity, more structure, and more consistency. Time is not the enemy. It is the opportunity. Every minute is a chance to make a decision that moves you forward. With the right system, you stop hoping for progress and start creating it. You build a rhythm, you build results, and most importantly, you build trust with yourself, because you're no longer wasting your life on accident. You're living it on purpose. Chapter 7. Read one life-changing book every single month. Reading is one of the few habits that can completely reshape your thinking, sharpen your perspective, and guide your decisions with wisdom far beyond your personal experiences. One life-changing book every month is not just a reading goal, it's a challenge to expand your mind, expose yourself to higher standards, and actively step out of mental laziness. A single powerful idea at the right time can turn your life in a new direction, and books are full of those ideas. But this only happens when you stop treating reading as a casual activity and start treating it as a strategic habit that shapes who you become. Most people say they don't have time to read, but the truth is they never made it a priority. If you have time to scroll, you have time to read. If you can binge shows, you can finish a book. The problem is not time, it's intention. Reading one life-changing book each month doesn't require hours every day. It only requires consistency and a sense of urgency about your own development. 20 minutes a day is enough to finish most books in a month. That small window can completely change the quality of your thinking if you use it with purpose. Reading is not about collecting quotes or feeling productive. It's about absorbing the insights that challenge your beliefs, stretch your thinking, and open your eyes to what's possible. When you choose the right books, books written by thinkers, doers, and leaders who've lived through what you're facing, you gain access to decades of experience compressed into pages. That knowledge, when applied, saves you time, effort, and unnecessary struggle. It helps you avoid mistakes, see new opportunities, and make decisions from a position of clarity instead of emotion. Each month, you should choose a book with intention. Don't just grab what's trending. Look at where your life needs guidance, strength, or structure. If your discipline is weak, choose a book that teaches structure. If your mindset is fragile, read something that builds mental toughness. If your goals feel unclear, read a book that sharpens focus. Let your life guide your selection. The right book at the right time will feel like a conversation with a wiser version of yourself. And when you read it with attention, that wisdom stays with you long after the last page. Reading one book a month is not about volume, it's about transformation. Read slowly if you must, but read deeply. Highlight the words that hit you. Take notes. Pause to reflect on how the ideas connect to your own life. Don't just move from one page to the next, like a task on a checklist. Engage with the content. Think about how you can apply the lesson, how it changes your perspective, and how it could improve your behavior starting today. That level of attention makes a book more than something you read. It makes it a tool for change. This habit also strengthens your ability to focus. In a world full of distractions, sitting down with a book and staying with it forces your brain to slow down and concentrate. That ability transfers to every other part of your life. You become better at listening, thinking critically, and staying with a problem until it's solved. You stop looking for shortcuts, and you start building depth. Reading builds patience, and patience builds power. While others chase instant answers, you learn to work with ideas until they grow roots. To build this habit, make reading part of your routine. Decide when and where it happens. It could be the first thing in the morning, or the last thing at night. Keep the book visible. Carry it with you. Remove friction. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Read during commutes, in waiting rooms or on breaks. Replace 10 minutes of scrolling with 10 minutes of reading. That one decision each day multiplies into hours of learning each month, and over time, it transforms your mindset. Track what you read. Keep a list. Write a short summary of each book after you finish it. Capture what stood out, what you learned, and what you will change. This simple habit helps you remember and revisit the ideas when you need them. It also builds a record of your growth. A year from now, when you've read 12 great books, you'll see not just a list, but a timeline of who you've become. Books can also help you solve problems faster. Whatever you're going through, someone else has already faced it, studied it, and written about it. Reading gives you a shortcut to wisdom. It gives you context, options, and new strategies to deal with what's in front of you. Instead of guessing your way through life, you begin to lead with insight. That confidence changes how you make decisions and how you show up in daily life. The quality of the books you read matters. Avoid empty content. Choose books that challenge you, books that are dense with truth, even if they're uncomfortable to read. You don't need motivation fluff. You need ideas that call you out, push you forward, and show you what's possible when you stop playing small. A good book should shake something inside of you. It should leave you different than you were before you opened it. Books also teach you how to think. They expose you to different models of success, different patterns of thought, and different ways to look at problems. You begin to notice how great minds approach life. You start to adopt their questions, their methods, their mental frameworks. Reading trains your brain to operate at a higher level, not just react to what's in front of you. The more you read, the more you learn to zoom out, to analyze, and to take action with a long-term view. This habit also builds humility. The more you read, the more you realize how much you don't know. And that realization is powerful. It keeps you hungry, open, and willing to grow. People who stop learning get stuck. They become outdated in their thinking and limited in their options. But those who read never stop evolving. They never stay in the same mindset for too long. They keep adapting, sharpening, and improving, not because they have to, but because it's who they've become. If you stay consistent, this habit compounds. Each book builds on the last. Ideas begin to connect across disciplines. You start applying principles from one area of life to another. A book about business might help you become a better communicator. A book on stoicism might help you stay calm in relationship. A book on mindset might give you the courage to try something new. Over time, your thinking becomes layered, adaptable, and resilient. Reading also gives you language. The more you read, the more clearly you can express yourself. You begin to speak with precision. You learn the words to describe your goals, your values, your boundaries. You stop being vague. You stop being passive. You learn to articulate what you stand for. That clarity changes your conversations, your relationships, and your leadership. Words shape thought, and reading gives you better words. This is not a luxury. This is a necessity. In a world where attention is divided, reading is how you rise above noise. It's how you gain an edge, not by knowing everything, but by knowing the right thing, not by being louder, but by being wiser. One book a month is not too much to ask. It's a small price to pay for a lifetime of insight, direction, and strength. Start with one book this month. Don't wait for motivation. Don't overthink it. Choose a book that speaks to your current season of life and begin. Even if you read 2 pages a day, just start. Build the rhythm, protect the time, and stay with it. 1 month from now, you'll finish. 1 year from now, you'll be 12 books wiser, stronger, and clearer. 1 book can change a month. 12 can change a life. Make the decision to grow. Read like your future depends on it, because it does. Chapter 8. Develop a strong mindset by embracing hard truths. A strong mindset does not grow in comfort. It is shaped through honesty, through facing reality without flinching, and through accepting what is difficult to hear but necessary to understand. The foundation of mental toughness is built on truth, not preference. If you want to grow beyond the limits of your current life, you must begin by embracing the truths that most people avoid. You must stop searching for shortcuts, stop expecting life to be fair, and stop blaming the world for where you are. The moment you accept hard truths is the moment you begin to take control of your inner world. Most people are held back, not by what they don't know, but by what they refuse to accept. They know they're wasting time, but they justify it. They know their habits are weak, but they excuse them. They know their decisions are inconsistent, but they blame circumstances. This pattern of denial protects your comfort but destroys your future. Growth requires you to look directly at what's wrong and say, "This is mine to fix." That is how mental strength begins. Not with more knowledge, but with more courage to face what is already obvious. The truth is that life will not adapt to you. It will not slow down because you are tired. It will not pause because you feel uncertain. It will not reward you just because you mean well. Results go to those who act, those who stay consistent, and those who take full responsibility for the way they show up. When you stop expecting life to give you what you want and start focusing on earning what you need, you develop the mindset of a builder. That mindset doesn't break when things get hard. It becomes sharper, clearer, and more focused under pressure. Mental toughness is not about being emotionless. It's about having clarity. It's about choosing action when fear shows up. It's about continuing forward when comfort begs you to stop. And that kind of resilience only grows when you stop lying to yourself. You must be willing to say, "I'm not doing enough," when that's the truth. You must be able to admit, "I'm making excuses," when that's what's happening. That level of honesty doesn't weaken you, it liberates you. It cuts through confusion. It gives you back the control you gave away. Hard truths don't feel good at first. They sting. They expose weaknesses. They show you where you've been drifting. But they also show you where the work is. And that's the most powerful knowledge you can have. When you stop avoiding reality, you stop wasting effort. You stop aiming at the wrong goals. You stop living in a cycle of temporary motivation followed by familiar failure. You start building something real. You stop asking what feels good and start asking what's true and what needs to be done. One hard truth is that you won't always feel motivated. Most of the time you'll have to act while you're tired, uncertain, or uninterested. That's not a flaw. That's normal. Mental strength is not the ability to feel inspired every day. It's the ability to act without inspiration. To move because it's necessary, not because it's exciting. To stay on track because you gave your word, not because you feel like it. That consistency is what builds confidence, not feelings or mood. Another hard truth is that people will misunderstand you. They won't always support your goals. They might doubt your progress, question your decisions, or even laugh at your efforts. That's part of the journey. If you need approval to stay committed, you will never finish anything difficult. You must be strong enough to continue even when others don't see the vision. Your mindset must be rooted in your own standards, not in external validation. When you detach from the need to be liked, you become free to lead your own path. You also need to understand that change takes time. You cannot undo years of neglect in a few weeks of effort. The work will feel slow. The results will not show up as fast as you want. There will be plateaus, setbacks, and stretches where nothing seems to move. But none of that means you're failing. It means you're in the middle, and the middle is where most people quit, because they refuse to accept that real progress is built through patience, not speed. A strong mindset sees through the delay and keeps going anyway. You are not owed success. You are not entitled to growth. You earn it through discipline, through repetition, through the decision to show up when it's easier not to. That truth is uncomfortable, but it gives you power, because if no one owes you anything, then you are not waiting on anyone. You don't need permission. You don't need conditions to be perfect. You only need to act, and keep acting, until the results show up. A strong mindset is also built through hardship. The difficulties you face are not distractions from your growth. They are the training ground for it. Every obstacle is a test of your endurance, your character, and your focus. If you avoid hard situations, you avoid the very experiences that sharpen your resilience. But if you face them, learn from them, and adapt through them, you become unshakable. Strength is not built in ease. It's built when you face what's difficult and decide not to break. Another truth most people avoid is that fear will always be present. You will never completely eliminate doubt, anxiety, or nervousness, but you don't have to. Strength is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to move through it. When you accept that fear is part of growth, it loses its control over you. You stop waiting to feel ready. You start acting even when you feel unsure, and that habit builds self-trust. It teaches your brain that fear is not the signal to stop, but the sign to begin. You must also let go of the fantasy that things will someday be easier. They won't. You will get stronger. You will get better. But the world won't soften for your convenience, and that's okay. When you accept that hard is part of the process, you stop being surprised by it. You stop wasting energy wishing things were different. You save your strength for the work. And you stop living with the belief that your happiness depends on circumstances. You begin to find peace in your progress, not in your environment. Mental toughness is not built in a single moment. It is built daily, through small choices, through uncomfortable honesty, through the refusal to be passive. You decide who you want to become, and then you align your behavior with that decision. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, you stop trying to escape the truth, and you start using it. You use it to fuel your growth, to stay grounded, and to remain focused when others get distracted. Your mindset is your responsibility. No one else will build it for you. No one else will think for you. act for you, or suffer the consequences of your weakness. It's on you. And that's not a burden, it's a gift. Because it means you have the power to change it, to sharpen it, to train it, until it becomes your greatest advantage. But it starts with one decision: to stop running from the truth, and start using it to rise. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to know everything. You only need to be willing to accept what's real, willing to act in alignment with your values, willing to build a mind that holds firm under pressure, that stays steady in chaos, and that leads you forward even when everything else tells you to quit. That kind of mind doesn't happen by accident. It is built by those who face the truth and use it as fuel. Be one of them. Stay honest, stay strong, and stay committed to the path even when it's hard. Especially then. That's where the real strength lives. Chapter 9. Track your daily progress with full honesty. Progress without measurement is just movement without direction. You might be doing a lot, but if you don't track what matters, you'll never know whether you're truly growing or just staying busy. Real transformation demands that you observe yourself clearly every single day. You cannot build discipline, momentum, or self-respect if you're not willing to look at your actions with full honesty. That means facing your behavior without filters. It means asking yourself at the end of every day, did I live like I meant it? And answering that question without lying to protect your ego. Tracking your daily progress isn't just about writing things down. It's about seeing yourself in action. It's about turning vague hopes into visible habits. When you track your day, you create accountability. You strip away illusions. You find out who you are when no one is watching, and that truth is your foundation. Without it, every goal becomes a guess, and every plan starts to drift. But when you track your decisions, your results, and your effort with full honesty, you take back control of your personal growth. Most people avoid tracking because it forces them to admit what they already know. They say they want to improve, but they're not willing to look closely at their own inconsistency. They prefer the comfort of potential over the discomfort of data. But you cannot improve what you refuse to measure. If you're serious about becoming stronger, sharper, and more focused, then tracking your daily progress is not optional, it's essential. It's how you stay grounded in reality and avoid slipping into excuses. Tracking is not complicated. It doesn't require a fancy system or hours of your time. It just requires that you pause every day and reflect with clarity. What did you do today that moved you forward? What did you avoid that needs your attention? Where did you follow through and where did you fall short? Write it down. Don't overthink it. Be specific. The point is not to punish yourself. The point is to create awareness. Awareness creates change. Change creates momentum. And momentum leads to progress that you can feel and see. The power of tracking lies in its consistency. You don't need perfect days, you need honest days. You need to build the habit of reflection. When you track daily, patterns begin to emerge. You see the gaps between your goals and your actions. You see the habits that keep repeating, both good and bad. And with that insight, you can begin to make adjustments. You're not reacting blindly anymore. You're making decisions based on reality. You stop guessing. You start leading your life like it matters. Your tracking system should reflect what you're aiming to build. If you want to improve your health, track your sleep, food and movement. If you want to grow financially, track your income, spending and savings. If you want to develop discipline, track your morning routine, your work sessions, your screen time. The key is to track what you care about. What you measure improves. What you ignore decays. If something is important, it deserves your daily attention. One of the most important things to track is your effort. You can't always control outcomes, but you can control whether you showed up. Track whether you did the work, even when it was uncomfortable. Track the hard conversations, the disciplined choices, the hours you stayed focused. Progress isn't just measured in results. It's measured in consistency. When you start noticing how often you keep your word, you begin to rebuild trust with yourself. It's also vital to track your mental and emotional state. Were you calm today or reactive? Did you lead your emotions or get pulled by them? Did you speak clearly or hold back? Did fear stop you or did you push through? These questions reveal more than any task list ever could, because you're not just building habits. You're building identity. You're not just completing actions, you're becoming someone new, and your mindset is the core of that shift. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to write. Write what went well. Write what didn't. Write what you're proud of. Write what needs to change. Don't censor yourself. Don't sugarcoat the truth. The more honest you are, the faster you grow. You're not writing for anyone else. You're writing to sharpen your awareness. You're creating a mirror that reflects not who you wish you were, but who you are right now. That reflection, when viewed with honesty, becomes your roadmap. Some days you'll be proud of what you see. Other days you'll be disappointed. But every day is a chance to adjust. When you track honestly, you no longer rely on memory or emotion to define your progress. You have evidence, you have clarity, you have a record of effort. That record becomes your motivation. When you look back and see that you've shown up for 30 straight days, even on the hard ones, that builds identity. That tells you that you're not someone who quits. You're someone who follows through. Tracking also helps you detach from perfection. You stop trying to have flawless days and start aiming for consistent improvement. One bad day doesn't define your journey, but ignoring the pattern of bad days does. When you track with honesty, you can catch decline early. You can notice when you're slipping before it becomes a collapse. You can correct your course quickly. That awareness protects your progress. It keeps your standards from sliding without you noticing. If you skip tracking, you lose momentum. You start drifting. You start making decisions based on how you feel, instead of what's real. And feelings are unreliable. One bad mood can throw off your entire day if you're not grounded in data. But when you track, you build stability. You become emotionally tougher. You don't just hope to get better. You prove it to yourself every day. Some people say tracking feels obsessive, but what's truly obsessive is repeating the same cycle year after year and expecting change. What's obsessive is chasing improvement while avoiding accountability. Tracking is not about controlling every detail. It's about learning who you are and how you operate. It's about becoming your own coach, your own guide, your own source of clarity when everything around you becomes noisy. The truth is, if you won't track it, you don't value it. Chapter 10. Surround yourself with people who push you forward. Who you choose to spend your time with determines how far you go, how strong you stay, and how clearly you see what's possible for your life. The people around you either pull you toward your higher standards or drag you back into your old patterns. You cannot rise if you are surrounded by those who are committed to staying the same. You cannot think clearly if your environment is filled with negativity, distraction, or excuses. If you want to grow, you must make your circle stronger. You must choose people who challenge you, support you, and expect more from you than you do from yourself. Most people stay stuck because they're afraid to outgrow the people around them. They fear being alone more than they fear staying average. But if the cost of comfort is your potential, it's too expensive. You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need approval to raise your standards. And you don't owe anyone your stagnation just because they're uncomfortable with your growth. You have one life, and if you waste it trying to belong to people who don't push you, you'll never discover what you're really capable of. People who push you forward don't flatter you, they challenge you. They don't coddle your weaknesses, they hold you to your highest capacity. They don't settle for your excuses, they remind you of your power, and even when it's uncomfortable, they speak the truth. They don't compete with your progress, they celebrate it. They don't gossip behind your back, they speak about your dreams like they believe in them. Those are the people you need. Not because they make life easier, but because they make your standards stronger. Look closely at your current circle. Are these people helping you move forward or keeping you comfortable where you are? Do they bring clarity or confusion? Do they hold you accountable or enable your distraction? Your energy is limited, and if you're constantly pouring it into conversations that go nowhere, relationships that lack depth, and company that drains you, you will not have the strength to build what matters. You must protect your focus by protecting your environment. You must choose people who add to your future, not subtract from it. This does not mean cutting people off with coldness. It means setting boundaries with clarity. It means being honest about what you're working on and what kind of energy you need around you. If someone constantly brings drama, excuses, or low standards into your space, you don't need to argue with them, you just need to step back. Not everyone can go where you're headed, and that's okay. Growth will always require separation, not out of arrogance, but out of commitment to something higher. Seek out people who are ahead of you in mindset, discipline, and results. Learn from them. Watch how they speak, how they think, and how they handle adversity. Surrounding yourself with people who are playing at a higher level forces you to level up. You become more alert, more focused, and more intentional. You stop settling for easy answers and start asking better questions. You stop pretending and start performing. That pressure is not a threat, it's a gift. It pulls you into a stronger version of yourself. Sometimes the people who push you the most don't always feel like the most comfortable. They may point out where you're inconsistent. They may confront you when you're making excuses. They may remind you of the standard you said you wanted to live by. In the moment, that might feel frustrating. But in time, you'll realize they were the ones who respected your potential enough to speak the truth. They didn't protect your feelings, they protected your future. Building a circle of growth is not about numbers, it's about alignment. You don't need a crowd, you need a core. A few people who want to see you win, not for their benefit, but because they believe in who you are. People who don't shrink your vision but help expand it. People who don't settle for your good enough, but pull you back toward your greatness. These relationships are rare, but they are worth everything, and to find them, you must first become that kind of person yourself. Are you the kind of person who pushes others forward? Do you speak encouragement, or do you complain? Do you offer solutions, or do you spread doubts? Do you lead with discipline, or do you hide behind distractions? The quality of your circle is often a reflection of who you are becoming. You attract what you reinforce. So if you want to be around people who live with purpose, raise your own. If you want to be surrounded by builders, start building. If you want to be respected, live a life that earns it. This process takes time. You may feel lonely at first, but that space between who you were and who you're becoming is sacred. Don't rush to fill it with noise. Let it teach you what kind of people you really want in your life. Let it reveal how much energy you were wasting trying to belong to places that never truly saw you. Use that quiet season to sharpen your focus, build your routine, strengthen your habits, grow into someone who doesn't chase validation, but lives by vision. Stay alert to the small signs of misalignment. If someone constantly makes fun of your goals, drains your time, or dismisses your values, that is not harmless. That is shaping you. Little by little, that energy seeps into your standards. Don't ignore it. Don't excuse it. Distance is a form of self-respect. You don't need to fight every battle. Just walk away from what doesn't match your future. Keep your standards high and your circle tight. The right people will not require you to shrink. They will not ask you to lower your standards. They will not get jealous of your wins. They will rise with you. They will push back when you get lazy. They will remind you who you said you wanted to be when you start to drift. Those are the people you keep close. Not out of comfort, but out of clarity. Growth is not meant to be a solo journey, but it does begin with your choices. If you choose wisely, your circle becomes your support, your group becomes your foundation, and your relationships become a mirror of your best self. Every conversation becomes an opportunity. Every connection becomes a source of strength. You wake up sharper, move faster, and stay aligned. Not because you're perfect, but because you're surrounded by people who expect progress. If you don't yet have those people in your life, that's okay. Start with one. Join a group that shares your values. Engage in spaces that encourage growth. Reach out to someone who inspires you, but more importantly, focus on becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts that energy. Integrity, effort, consistency, clarity. Those traits will draw the right people into your life over time. Never underestimate the influence of those around you. Your future depends on it. Every goal you set, every habit you build, every standard you live by can be strengthened or destroyed by the people in your life. So choose with intention, choose with courage, and choose with the understanding that greatness is not built in isolation, but it is protected by environment. Surround yourself with people who push you forward, and you'll never have to question your direction. Chapter 11. Cut out every excuse and focus on your actions. Excuses destroy more dreams than failure ever will. The truth is, your reasons don't matter as much as your results. Your explanations, your justifications, your stories, they all might sound convincing, but they don't move your life forward. Only action does. And the more you entertain excuses, the more you weaken your power. Every excuse you tell yourself becomes a barrier between who you are and who you could be. No matter how valid it may sound, an excuse always trades effort for comfort, growth for safety, and reality for illusion. If you want to change your life, you must make a decision that from this point forward, your actions will speak louder than your words. Every day, people waste their time waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect mood. They delay action under the disguise of preparation, overthinking, or circumstances. But what they're really doing is protecting their ego from the pain of effort. Deep down, they know what needs to be done. They know what step to take, but they choose to hide behind the idea that something else is in the way. Excuses are not facts. They are patterns. And until you break the pattern, you'll stay in the same place pretending you need more time, when what you really need is more responsibility. Taking action doesn't require perfect conditions. It requires a mindset that no matter what stands in your way, you'll figure it out. It means you stop saying things like "I'm too tired" or "it's not the right time," and start asking yourself, what can I do right now with what I have? Because most of the time, there is something you can do. You just avoid doing it because it feels uncomfortable. But discomfort is the price of change. If you want to live differently, you have to act differently, and that starts by eliminating the stories that keep you standing still. You don't need more motivation, you need more movement. Motivation fades. Action compounds. When you act even when you don't feel like it, you stop relying on mood and start relying on discipline. Discipline doesn't care about your excuses. It only responds to decision. And every time you choose action over delay, you strengthen your ability to lead your own life. You prove to yourself that you are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You are in control, not of everything around you, but of how you respond and what you choose to do next. The habit of making excuses begins subtly. You skip one task and say you were too busy. You miss one deadline and blame the pressure. You break one promise to yourself and say it didn't matter. But every small excuse builds into a pattern. A mindset that always finds a way out instead of a way forward. You don't need to be harsh with yourself, but you must be honest. Stop telling yourself stories that make you feel better and start telling yourself the truth that will make you better. Some people blame their past. Others blame their environment. Some blame their schedule, their lack of support, or their fear. And while all those things may be real, they are not reasons to stop. They are reasons to grow. There are people with less who do more. There are people who come from hardship and still move forward. The difference is not what they have, but what they decide. And you have that same decision in your hands every day. To act in alignment with your goals or to protect the habits that keep you small. There is no success without responsibility. And responsibility means looking at your life as it is and saying, if it's going to change, it starts with me. No blaming, no waiting, no avoiding, just doing. Not perfectly, but consistently, because progress is built through action, not intention. You can think about your goals all day, but until you take a step, nothing changes, and the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. Action builds momentum. Excuses build regret. You get to choose which one you carry. One of the most powerful things you can do is stop explaining yourself. Stop justifying why things didn't get done. Stop repeating the same tired lines that don't serve you. When you drop the need to explain and instead commit to act, you free your mind from distraction. You stop feeding your fear. You stop protecting your comfort. You start making progress. Quietly, steadily, without needing applause. That kind of growth is unshakable, because it's not built on what others think. It's built on what you do when no one's watching. Every excuse you've made in the past is a reflection of your mindset at the time, but you are not bound to that mindset. You can change it right now. The next time you hear yourself making an excuse, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me or holding me back? 9 times out of 10, it's the latter. And if you can recognize that, you can redirect your energy into something useful. You can replace that excuse with an action. It doesn't have to be huge, it just has to be real. Start with small wins. Wake up when you said you would. Finish what you started. Follow through on your word. Keep the promise you made to yourself. Each time you act instead of excuse, you rewrite your story. You build integrity. You start to believe in yourself, not because you say the right things, but because you do the right thing. That belief cannot be faked. It is earned through consistency, through effort, through the discipline of showing up no matter what. Excuses make you a prisoner to your past. Actions open the door to your future. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep moving. You just have to choose effort over ease, progress over pride, courage over comfort. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. What once felt like resistance becomes routine. What once felt like pressure becomes purpose. What once felt like a mountain becomes just another step on the path. You are capable of more than you think, but you'll never access that potential if you keep shielding yourself from effort with excuses. You must be willing to work through fear, through doubt, through resistance, because those things don't go away. You just get stronger than them. You rise above them by refusing to let them dictate your choices. That's how confidence grows. That's how mastery begins. That's how transformation takes root. You don't need the perfect strategy. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You need to move right now in the direction of your goals, in the direction of responsibility, in the direction of the life you claim to want. Because if you don't take action, your life will be shaped by default. It will be shaped by excuses, and nothing is more painful than living a life of regret, knowing you could have done more but chose not to. Cut the excuses. Focus on your actions. That's where the change begins. Not next week, not when you feel better. Now, one step at a time, one action after another. That's how progress is made. That's how lives are changed. And that's how your story shifts from one of delay to one of discipline, from one of potential to one of performance. Make the choice, do the work, build the life. Chapter 12. Build financial discipline and start saving consistently. Building financial discipline is one of the most powerful steps you can take to secure your future and gain control over your life. Money has the ability to create opportunities, reduce stress, and give you freedom, but only if you learn to manage it with intention and consistency. The key to financial success isn't just about how much you earn, it's about how well you manage what you have. Discipline in finances means committing to habits that protect your resources, grow your wealth, and prepare you for unexpected challenges. Saving consistently is not about having a lot, it's about making a promise to yourself that no matter what, a portion of your income is set aside with purpose. Most people struggle with money because they treat it like an endless resource, or they ignore it until a crisis appears. This leads to living paycheck to paycheck, accumulating debt, and constant worry. But financial discipline is a mindset shift. It's seeing money as a tool, not a goal. It's understanding that small, steady actions create lasting impact. Saving is not a one-time event. It's a daily decision to prioritize your future over immediate gratification. When you develop the habit of saving consistently, you build a safety net that protects you and a foundation that allows you to grow. Start by understanding your income and expenses clearly. Many avoid looking at their finances because it feels overwhelming or uncomfortable. But clarity is the first step toward control. Track every dollar that comes in and every dollar that goes out. This simple practice creates awareness of your habits and reveals areas where you can cut back without feeling deprived. When you see your money honestly, you stop guessing where it goes and start deciding where it should go. This is the core of financial discipline, conscious decision-making based on real information. Once you have clarity, set a realistic saving goal. It doesn't have to be large. Even saving 5 or 10% of your income consistently can change your life over time. The key is consistency, not amount. Commit to saving first before spending on extras. Treat saving like a bill you must pay every month. Automate it if you can. Set up a system where a portion of your income goes directly into a separate savings account before you have the chance to spend it. This removes temptation and makes saving effortless. Over time, you'll watch your savings grow without feeling the pinch. Building financial discipline also means controlling impulse spending. Every time you spend without intention, you weaken your financial foundation. Recognize the triggers that lead to unnecessary purchases, boredom, stress, social pressure, and create strategies to resist them. This might mean waiting 24 hours before buying something non-essential or creating a list of priorities to guide your spending. When you focus on your goals, impulsive spending loses its power. You learn to find satisfaction in progress, not possessions. It's important to separate needs from wants. Needs are essentials like food, housing, and healthcare. Wants are everything else. Financial discipline requires that you meet your needs first, but then carefully evaluate your wants against your long-term goals. This evaluation gives you control instead of letting advertising or peer pressure dictate your choices. Every dollar spent on something unnecessary is a dollar taken away from your future security. When you make intentional spending decisions, you build respect for your money and for yourself. Debt management is another crucial part of financial discipline. High-interest debt can sabotage your savings and drain your energy. Make a plan to reduce debt steadily. Prioritize paying off the most expensive debt first, but don't neglect smaller debts as well. Use any extra money to accelerate your payments. Avoid accumulating new debt unless it's an investment in your future, like education or a home. Learning to live within your means is a form of self-respect and a foundation for financial freedom. Financial discipline also involves planning for the unexpected. Life is unpredictable and emergencies happen. Without savings, one crisis can create lasting damage. Build an emergency fund with at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This fund acts as a buffer that protects you from setbacks and allows you to face challenges with confidence instead of panic. Knowing you have a safety net reduces stress and strengthens your ability to focus on growth. Investing is a natural next step after you build consistent saving habits. It's not just about saving money but making your money work for you. Educate yourself on basic investment principles. Start small if needed, but start investing can help you grow wealth faster than saving alone. It also gives you a sense of ownership over your future. When you make disciplined investments, you are actively choosing to increase your options and your freedom over time. Accountability is essential to maintaining financial discipline. Share your goals with someone you trust or work with a financial coach if possible. Regular check-ins create pressure to stay consistent and help you stay honest with yourself. It's easy to ignore problems when you're alone, but when you have support, you gain motivation and clarity. You don't have to face financial growth in isolation. Surround yourself with people who encourage your progress and celebrate your wins. Building financial discipline also improves your mindset. Money often triggers strong emotions: fear, shame, greed, or anxiety. Confront these feelings directly instead of avoiding them. Recognize that your relationship with money is a reflection of your beliefs about yourself and your worth. Shifting your mindset to one of respect, responsibility, and possibility creates a foundation for lasting change. When you feel in control of your money, you feel in control of your life. Start now. Don't wait for a perfect paycheck or a big bonus. Take whatever you have and commit to saving a small amount consistently. This daily decision to save builds momentum. It builds confidence. It builds security. Over time, these small steps add up to big results. Your financial discipline will grow, and with it, your ability to take control of your entire life. Remember, financial discipline is not a punishment. It's a gift you give yourself. It's freedom from worry. It's power over your choices. It's a bridge to your dream. The path may not always be easy, but the reward is worth every effort. When you start saving consistently and managing your money with intention, you create a life that's not dependent on chance, but built on purpose. This journey will teach you patience, perseverance, and self-respect. You'll discover strength you didn't know you had. You'll develop habits that protect you no matter what comes. And most importantly, you'll show up for yourself in a way that changes everything. Your future self will thank you for the discipline you build today. Keep moving forward. Keep saving. Keep believing. Financial discipline is the foundation that supports every other area of your life. Build it strong, build it steady, and watch how your world transforms. Your life will change forever, not because of luck, but because of the habits you choose to create right now. Chapter 13. Reflect daily to learn from wins and mistakes. Taking time every day to reflect on what went well and what didn't is one of the most powerful habits you can develop for personal growth. Reflection is not just thinking back on your day. It's a conscious effort to learn from your experiences, both wins and mistakes, and use those lessons to improve tomorrow. Without reflection, life becomes a cycle of repeated patterns. You miss opportunities to correct course, deepen understanding, and build resilience. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. It forces you to slow down, to notice, and to grow from what happens instead of just letting life pass by. Many people overlook daily reflection because it feels uncomfortable to face mistakes or because they are too busy chasing the next task. But avoiding reflection is like walking through life with your eyes closed. You may move forward, but you won't move with purpose. Taking a few moments each day to review your actions brings clarity. It reveals what worked, what didn't, and what you can do differently. This simple habit builds self-awareness, which is the foundation of all lasting change. Reflection requires honesty and humility. It means admitting when you fell short and celebrating when you succeeded. Too often, people focus only on their failures or only on their successes. Neither extreme is useful. Focusing only on mistakes can lead to discouragement. Focusing only on wins can lead to complacency. Balanced reflection means acknowledging both. You learn to see your life as a continuous journey of learning, not a series of fixed results. This mindset keeps you open to growth, even when progress feels slow. A key part of reflection is asking the right questions. Instead of vague thoughts like "How was my day?" focus on specific, actionable questions. For example, what did I do today that moved me closer to my goals? Where did I waste energy or time? What could I improve tomorrow? What lessons did I learn from a difficult situation? These questions guide your mind toward practical insights instead of random memories. Over time, this focus sharpens your decision-making and boosts your effectiveness. Writing down your reflections is incredibly powerful. Putting thoughts on paper creates a record you can revisit and learn from. It also forces you to organize your ideas clearly. You might start with a few bullet points or a journal entry. The act of writing slows your mind and helps you notice details you might forget. A daily reflection journal becomes a tool for tracking your growth and pattern. It can reveal recurring challenges or consistent strength that guide your focus. Reflecting on wins is just as important as reflecting on mistakes. Celebrating small victories builds confidence and motivation. It reminds you that effort produces results. When you recognize your progress, you reinforce positive habits and create momentum. This practice also helps balance the natural tendency to focus on what's wrong. Gratitude for wins keeps your mindset positive and forward moving. Reflection transforms mistakes from sources of shame into opportunities for growth. Everyone makes errors. What matters is what you do with them. Instead of denying or avoiding mistakes, reflect on why they happened and how to prevent them in the future. This approach builds resilience. You learn to see setbacks as feedback, not failure. The more you embrace this, the less fear you have of taking risks or facing challenges, because you know every experience is a lesson. Daily reflection also deepens your understanding of yourself. Over time, you begin to see patterns in your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. You notice what triggers stress or distraction and what energizes and focuses you. This self-knowledge allows you to make smarter choices about your environment, routines, and relationships. You stop blaming external circumstances and start taking ownership of your inner world. Making reflection a daily habit doesn't require hours of time. Even 5 to 10 minutes can be enough if done with focus. The key is consistency and intention. Some people reflect at the end of the day, others prefer morning reflection to prepare for what's ahead. Find a time that works for you and make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. This practice will become a cornerstone of your growth and resilience. Reflection is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about creating a feedback loop that helps you improve steadily. When you practice this habit, you develop patience for yourself. You accept that growth is gradual and that mistakes are part of the process. This mindset reduces frustration and helps you keep moving forward, even when results seem slow. Sharing your reflections with a trusted friend or mentor can amplify the benefits. Talking through your insights invites new perspectives and accountability. It also builds deeper connections rooted in mutual growth. When you open up about what you're learning, you invite support and encouragement that can strengthen your commitment. Reflection also helps you stay aligned with your values and goals. It acts as a compass, reminding you why you started and what truly matters. In the busyness of life, it's easy to get distracted or lose sight of your priorities. Taking time to reflect pulls you back to what's important and helps you say no to what doesn't serve your growth. In moments of uncertainty or challenge, reflection becomes a tool for resilience. Looking back on past struggles and how you overcame them reminds you of your strength. It helps you find perspective and calm in difficult times. Reflection turns obstacles into stories of courage and perseverance, fueling your determination to keep going. Over time, reflection rewires your brain for growth. It trains you to approach life with curiosity and openness instead of fear and resistance. You become more adaptable and resourceful. This mental shift allows you to see challenges as opportunities and setbacks as temporary. Your mindset becomes your greatest asset. Start today by committing to reflect daily on your actions. Choose a method that suits you: journaling, quiet contemplation, or conversation. Ask yourself what you did well, what you can improve, and what you learned. Record your answers. Then use those insights to plan your next steps. This cycle of reflection and action creates continuous improvement. Reflection deepens your relationship with yourself. It teaches you to listen, to learn, and to grow. It turns everyday moments into valuable lessons. It moves you from living on autopilot to living with intention. When you make reflection a daily practice, you gain control over your growth and a clearer vision of your path. No matter where you are in life, reflection has the power to transform your trajectory. It is the bridge between experience and wisdom. It is the foundation of self-mastery and resilience. By learning from your wins and mistakes daily, you create a life that is not just busy, but meaningful, a life that moves steadily toward your highest potential. Embrace reflection as your daily habit and watch how it changes everything. Chapter 14. Take care of your body with strong daily habits. Taking care of your body is a fundamental part of living a long, productive, and fulfilling life. Your body is the vehicle through which you experience the world, achieve your goals, and enjoy your relationships. Without strong daily habits that support your physical health, everything else becomes more difficult. Energy wanes, focus fades, and even your mood can suffer. Developing consistent routines that nourish your body is not about perfection or extremes. It's about respect, discipline, and simple actions done regularly. When you commit to caring for your body every day, you build a foundation that supports every other area of your life. Good health doesn't come from occasional bursts of effort, but from steady, reliable habits. These habits shape your physical strength, stamina, and resilience. They improve your sleep quality, regulate your hormones, and balance your mood. When your body is cared for, your mind is sharper and your spirit is lighter. This connection between body and mind means that physical wellness isn't a separate task. It's a central part of your overall well-being. The stronger your daily habits, the more equipped you are to handle stress, overcome challenges, and maintain focus on your goals. Start with movement. The human body is designed to move regularly. Sitting for long periods weakens muscles, stiffens joints, and slows metabolism. Incorporating physical activity into your daily routine strengthens your heart, improves circulation, and increases endurance. It doesn't have to be complicated or intense. Even a daily walk, stretching, or a short bodyweight workout can make a huge difference. The key is consistency. Make movement a non-negotiable part of your day. When you prioritize this, you boost your energy and enhance your mood through natural endorphins. Nutrition plays a critical role in body care. What you fuel your body with determines how it performs. Processed foods, excess sugar, and empty calories weigh you down and lead to inflammation. Eating whole, nutrient-rich foods supports your immune system and provides the energy you need to stay active and focused. Pay attention to portion sizes and aim for a balance of protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. Drinking enough water is equally important. Hydration affects every cell in your body and helps regulate digestion, temperature, and cognitive function. Simple mindful eating habits create lasting energy and vitality. Rest and recovery are essential but often overlooked. Sleep is the body's natural repair system. Without adequate rest, your immune system weakens, your mental clarity declines, and your emotional balance falters. Develop a consistent sleep schedule that allows you to wake up refreshed. Create an environment that supports restful sleep by minimizing light, noise, and screen exposure before bed. Prioritize relaxation techniques like deep breathing or meditation to help calm your mind. When you honor rest, you restore your body's ability to perform at its best every day. Stress management is another vital part of body care. Chronic stress releases hormones that damage organs and weaken the immune system. Find daily ways to reduce stress through activities that soothe your nervous system. This might include mindful breathing, gentle yoga, spending time in nature, or engaging in hobbies you love. Regular relaxation reduces inflammation, lowers blood pressure, and improves sleep. When your body is free from excessive stress, it functions more efficiently and recovers faster. Pay attention to posture and ergonomics. The way you sit, stand, and move throughout the day affects your spinal health and muscle balance. Poor posture can cause pain, fatigue, and reduced mobility over time. Make adjustments to your workspace, take breaks to stretch, and practice body awareness. Small changes in how you hold your body add up to better alignment and less discomfort. Taking care of your body also means listening to its signals. Don't ignore pain, fatigue, or changes in health. Early detection and action prevent minor issues from becoming major problems. Schedule regular checkups and screenings to stay proactive about your health. When you take responsibility for your body, you catch problems early and create opportunities for healing. Avoid harmful habits that sabotage your health. This includes smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, and neglecting preventive care. Replace these with positive rituals that promote longevity. For example, choosing water over sugary drinks, practicing mindful eating, or incorporating relaxation routines. Every choice you make either supports your health or drains it. Build awareness around these decisions and choose wisely. Accountability helps sustain strong habits. Share your health goals with someone who encourages your progress. Whether a friend, coach, or family member, support keeps you motivated and consistent. Tracking your progress, even in small ways like noting how you feel after exercise or sleep, provides feedback that reinforces good behavior. Celebrate improvements in strength, energy, or mood to maintain momentum. Remember that caring for your body is a lifelong commitment, not a short-term project. Habits develop through repetition and patience. Some days will be easier than others, but the important part is showing up for yourself every day. Even small efforts compound over time to produce dramatic improvements. Each healthy meal, every step taken, and every night of good sleep adds up. This consistency transforms your physical health and empowers your mind and spirit. Your body deserves respect and attention because it's the foundation for everything you want to achieve. When you develop strong daily habits that support your physical well-being, you create a powerful base for success in all areas of life. The energy you gain from these habits fuels your creativity, productivity, and resilience. The discipline you build in caring for your body strengthens your ability to face life's challenges with confidence. Commit to starting with one habit today. Maybe it's drinking more water, taking a short walk, or going to bed at a regular time. Build on that habit gradually until you create a system that supports your health effortlessly. This approach makes body care sustainable and rewarding. Over time, you'll notice not just physical improvements, but a deeper sense of well-being that touches every part of your life. Taking care of your body is not selfish or optional, it's necessary. It's the act of giving yourself the respect and attention you deserve. It's a form of discipline that pays dividends every day. When you treat your body well, you build strength, clarity, and joy. You become better equipped to live fully and pursue your dreams with energy and purpose. Strong daily habits around your body care empower you to take control of your life. They increase your capacity to endure stress, maintain focus, and perform at your best. This foundation supports every goal, relationship, and challenge you face. The effort you invest in your body is the most valuable investment you can make. It changes not only your health, but your entire experience of life. Start today. Choose to honor your body with consistent habits. Move more, eat wisely, rest deeply, manage stress, and listen closely. This commitment will change how you feel, think, and live. The discipline you build in caring for your body becomes the engine and drives your transformation. Your life depends on the strength you build in your body today. Make it your priority, and everything else will follow. Chapter 15. Speak your truth and stop hiding your thoughts. Speaking your truth is one of the most courageous and empowering actions you can take in life. It means allowing your authentic thoughts, feelings, and beliefs to be known instead of hiding them out of fear or discomfort. Holding back your truth creates a barrier between who you are and who you want to become. When you stop hiding your thoughts, you open the door to real connection, personal freedom, and self-respect. It is a practice of honesty with yourself and others that builds confidence and aligns your life with your deepest values. Many people stay silent or conform to avoid conflict, rejection, or judgment. This tendency is understandable because vulnerability feels risky. However, silence often leads to resentment, confusion, and missed opportunities. When you don't express what you truly think, you give others power over your emotions and choices. You allow misunderstandings to grow and authenticity to fade. Speaking your truth breaks this cycle. It puts you in control of your narrative and fosters genuine relationships based on openness. The process of speaking your truth begins with self-awareness. You must first understand your own thoughts and feelings clearly. This requires regular reflection and courage to face uncomfortable emotions. When you identify what matters most to you, you gain clarity about what you want to communicate. This clarity gives you strength to express yourself calmly and confidently. It also reduces the risk of saying things you don't mean or that create unnecessary conflict. Expressing your truth effectively requires choosing the right time, place, and tone. Speaking impulsively or harshly can shut down communication, even when your message is important. Approach conversations with respect and empathy, aiming for understanding rather than winning. Use I statements to share your feelings and experiences without blaming or accusing. For example, say, "I feel concerned when," instead of "you always." This approach invites dialogue and reduces defensiveness, making it easier for others to hear your truth. It's normal to fear rejection or disagreement when sharing your honest thoughts. These fears often hold people back from speaking up. Recognize that not everyone will agree with you, and that's okay. Speaking your truth is not about pleasing others, it's about honoring yourself. Respectful disagreement can lead to growth and deeper understanding. When you practice speaking openly, you build resilience to handle criticism and develop a clearer sense of who you are. Stopping the habit of hiding your thoughts means breaking patterns of avoidance and people-pleasing. It requires commitment and practice. Start by sharing small truths in low-risk situations to build confidence. Notice how it feels to be honest and how others respond. Over time, you will find that expressing yourself authentically strengthens your relationships. Concealing your true thoughts is exhausting and isolates you. Speaking your truth creates freedom and connection. Speaking your truth also means setting boundaries. When you communicate clearly about what you will and will not accept, you protect your well-being. Boundaries are an expression of self-respect and honesty. They prevent resentment and keep relationships healthy. Saying no when something doesn't align with your values or limits is a vital part of this practice. Boundaries create space for your truth to be heard and respected. Listening is a key companion to speaking your truth. Genuine communication flows both ways. When you speak openly, invite others to share their perspectives with the same respect. This exchange builds trust and mutual understanding. It also models the behavior you want to see in your relationships. When everyone practices honest communication, connections deepen and conflicts become opportunities for growth. Many people carry inner judgments that tell them their truth is not important or that expressing it will cause harm. These beliefs keep you trapped in silence. Challenge these thoughts by reminding yourself that your voice matters. Your perspective is unique and valuable. When you withhold your truth, you deny others the chance to know the real you. Embracing your voice is an act of courage and kindness toward yourself and those around you. Cultivating the habit of speaking your truth transforms your inner world as well. It reduces anxiety and self-doubt because you stop living behind a mask. Authenticity fosters peace of mind and strengthens your identity. You learn to trust your intuition and stand firm in your beliefs. This inner clarity makes decision-making easier and life more purposeful. When you practice honesty regularly, you develop a reputation for integrity. People learn they can rely on you to be genuine and trustworthy. This reputation opens doors professionally and personally. It attracts people who respect and support you. The energy you put into being authentic returns in relationships built on mutual respect. It's important to understand that speaking your truth does not guarantee others will always respond positively. Some may react with discomfort or defensiveness. This is a reflection of their own struggles, not a judgment on you. Keep your focus on your intention to communicate honestly and kindly. Over time, people will learn to appreciate your openness and sincerity. Stopping hiding your thoughts also means freeing yourself from the weight of unspoken words. Carrying secrets or silenced opinions creates emotional strain. It can lead to feelings of isolation and frustration. Sharing your truth relieves this burden and creates space for healing and growth. You reclaim your power by choosing to be seen and heard fully. Commit to practicing honesty with yourself first. Notice when you are censoring your thoughts or avoiding difficult conversations. Challenge yourself to face these moments with courage and kindness. This internal practice builds the foundation for external authenticity. Self-trust grows when you honor your own voice before anyone else's. Begin by identifying one area of your life where you have been holding back. It might be with family, friends, co-workers, or even within your own mind. Make a plan to express your truth in that area thoughtfully and respectfully. Prepare what you want to say, focusing on your feelings and needs. Approach the conversation with an open heart and a clear purpose. Afterward, reflect on how it felt to share honestly and what you learned. Over time, this practice will become more natural and effortless. You will find that speaking your truth is not a burden, but a liberation. It frees you from the exhausting effort of pretending and builds genuine connection. Your life becomes aligned with who you truly are, creating a foundation for deeper happiness and success. Speaking your truth is a daily choice. It requires courage, discipline, and compassion. It challenges you to be vulnerable and strong at the same time. When you commit to this practice, you unlock a powerful source of self-respect and freedom. You create a life where your thoughts are no longer hidden, but expressed with clarity and confidence. The journey to authenticity begins with one brave step. Choose to stop hiding your thoughts today. Allow your voice to be heard. When you speak your truth, you empower yourself and inspire others to do the same. This habit transforms your relationships, your mindset, and your entire life. It is a gift you give yourself that changes everything. Chapter 16. Practice gratitude and shift your focus to growth. Gratitude is a powerful practice that transforms how you experience life and shapes your mindset toward growth. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your perspective shifts from scarcity to abundance. This shift changes your emotional state, improves your resilience, and opens your mind to new possibilities. Gratitude is not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about recognizing the value in your current circumstances and using that as a foundation to build something better. When you practice gratitude daily, you create a fertile ground for growth and improvement. One of the most important effects of gratitude is its ability to calm the mind. When your focus is on what's going well, stress and anxiety diminish. The mind tends to dwell on problems and worries because of habitual negative thinking. Gratitude interrupts this cycle by drawing attention to positive aspects of life. Even in difficult times, there are small things to appreciate: kindness from others, progress in a goal, or simply the ability to breathe and move. This focus on positives brings peace and clarity, which are essential for growth. Gratitude helps you develop a mindset that sees setbacks not as failures but as opportunities. When you appreciate the lessons in every experience, your attitude shifts toward learning. Challenges become teachers rather than obstacles. This shift empowers you to stay motivated and persistent, knowing that every step forward contributes to your growth. Instead of feeling stuck or defeated, you learn to ask, "What can I take from this?" Gratitude opens your mind to answers and solutions that might have been hidden by frustration or disappointment. Practicing gratitude is simple but requires intention and consistency. You can start by writing down 3 things you are grateful for every day. These can be big or small, from a supportive friend to a moment of quiet. Over time, this habit trains your brain to notice good things naturally. You may find yourself appreciating everyday experiences more deeply, such as a good meal, a beautiful sunset, or a smile from a stranger. This awareness makes life richer and more fulfilling. Alongside gratitude, shifting your focus to growth means adopting a mindset that embraces continuous improvement. Growth requires effort, openness, and a willingness to face discomfort. It is about looking beyond current achievements and striving to become better each day. This mindset sees success not as a fixed point but as a journey. When you focus on growth, you become curious and eager to learn from every experience. You welcome feedback, adapt to change, and persist through difficulties. Combining gratitude with a growth mindset creates a powerful synergy. Gratitude grounds you in the present and builds emotional strength. Growth mindset pushes you toward the future and fuels ambition. Together they keep you balanced, appreciating what is while working toward what could be. This balance prevents burnout and discouragement because you celebrate progress while staying committed to improvement. To cultivate this balance, start by reflecting on your daily experiences through both lenses. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what am I grateful for today, and what did I learn or improve? This reflection links appreciation with action. It helps you recognize the value in both comfort and challenge. Over time, this habit rewires your thinking to be positive and proactive. Gratitude also improves your relationships. When you express appreciation for others, you build trust and connection. People respond to kindness and recognition, strengthening your social support. Strong relationships provide encouragement and accountability, both crucial for sustained growth. When you focus on the growth of yourself and those around you, you create a supportive environment where everyone can thrive. Another practical step is to reframe negative thoughts by finding something to be grateful for in each situation. For example, if you face a setback, acknowledge the resilience you gained or the lesson learned. This reframing transforms obstacles into stepping stones. It trains your mind to look for opportunity in adversity rather than defeat. This habit boosts your emotional resilience and keeps your energy focused on progress. Growth also requires setting clear goals and breaking them into manageable steps. Gratitude fuels your motivation by reminding you why these goals matter. When you appreciate the progress you've made, even if small, you build momentum. Celebrate milestones as evidence of your capacity to improve. This positive reinforcement strengthens your commitment and confidence. Incorporating gratitude and growth into your daily routine can be done in many ways. Morning gratitude journaling sets a positive tone for the day. Midday reminders to pause and appreciate your surroundings refresh your focus. Evening reflections on learning solidify progress and prepare you for tomorrow. These simple rituals create a cycle of positivity and growth that sustains you over time. It's important to be patient with yourself as you develop these habits. Shifting mindset takes time and effort. There will be days when negativity or frustration feels stronger. When this happens, return to the basics. Breathe deeply, notice something positive, and remind yourself of your commitment to growth. Persistence through these moments builds mental toughness and deepens your practice. Gratitude and growth also enhance your creativity and problem-solving skills. When your mind is open and positive, you are more likely to generate new ideas and see possibilities others might miss. This mental flexibility helps you navigate challenges and seize opportunities. It prepares you to adapt to change and thrive in uncertainty. Focusing on growth does not mean rejecting contentment or joy. It means choosing to expand your capacity to experience both. Gratitude brings contentment by highlighting what you have. Growth brings joy by fueling your journey toward your potential. Together, they create a life that is both fulfilling and dynamic. By practicing gratitude and focusing on growth daily, you develop a mindset that attracts success and happiness. You become someone who finds value in every moment and uses that value to build a better future. This mindset is not dependent on external circumstances, but comes from within. It is a source of strength, peace, and motivation that sustains you through life's ups and downs. Commit to making gratitude and growth a part of your life starting today. Choose to notice and appreciate the good while actively seeking ways to improve. This combination will change how you experience challenges, how you relate to others, and how you see yourself. It creates a foundation for lasting transformation. When you practice gratitude and shift your focus to growth, you change the way you live. You move from reacting to life to creating your life. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start making progress now. This mindset turns ordinary days into opportunities and difficulties into lessons. It opens doors to success and fulfillment that come from within rather than from outside approval. The journey of gratitude and growth is ongoing. Each day offers a new chance to practice these habits and deepen your wisdom. As you continue, you will notice a growing sense of peace and purpose. You will feel more connected to yourself and the world around you. Your life will become a reflection of your highest values and aspirations. This practice transforms not only your mindset but your reality. It shapes how you respond to setbacks, how you celebrate victories, and how you move forward. It turns growth into a joyful process and gratitude into a daily gift. Together, they create a powerful cycle of improvement and contentment that supports every part of your life. Start today. Choose to see the good and commit to growing beyond where you are now. This simple decision will create profound changes. It will help you live a life marked by strength, wisdom, and joy. Gratitude and growth are the keys to unlocking your fullest potential and changing your life forever. Chapter 17. Let go of the past and forgive yourself fully. Holding on to the past often feels like carrying a heavy burden that limits your ability to move forward and live fully. The memories, regrets, and mistakes that cling to you can weigh down your spirit and drain your energy. Letting go of the past is not about forgetting or denying what happened. Instead, it's about releasing the grip that those experiences have on your present and future. Forgiving yourself fully is the key to this release. It's a process of acceptance, compassion, and renewal that frees you to live without the chains of guilt or shame. The past shapes who you are, but it does not have to define your life. Many people struggle with feelings of regret over choices made or opportunities missed. These feelings can trap you in a cycle of self-criticism and doubt. When you carry this weight, it becomes difficult to focus on growth or happiness. Forgiveness allows you to break this cycle. It opens a pathway to healing by acknowledging your humanity and the fact that everyone makes mistakes. It's an act of kindness toward yourself that restores peace. Forgiving yourself begins with honesty. It requires facing your past without denial or excuse. This means looking clearly at the actions or decisions that caused pain or disappointment. Avoid minimizing or justifying these moments. Instead, accept them as part of your story. This acceptance is not a weakness, but a sign of strength and maturity. It shows you are ready to take responsibility without judgment. This clarity helps you understand the reasons behind your choices and the lessons they offer. Self-forgiveness also involves compassion. Recognize that you were doing the best you could with the knowledge and resources available at the time. No one is perfect, and growth comes from imperfection. Treat yourself as you would a friend who has made a mistake. Offer the same understanding and encouragement rather than harsh criticism. This shift in attitude changes how you relate to your past and yourself. Compassion softens the pain and opens space for healing. Letting go of the past requires releasing attachment to negative emotions linked to it. Feelings such as guilt, shame, anger, or resentment keep you tethered to what happened. These emotions consume mental energy and prevent you from being fully present. Acknowledge these feelings without suppressing them. Allow yourself to feel and then consciously decide to release them. Techniques like meditation, journaling, or talking to a trusted person can support this process. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting, but choosing not to be controlled by the past. Moving forward after forgiving yourself involves changing your relationship with the past. Instead of seeing it as a source of pain, view it as a foundation for growth. Each experience, even the difficult ones, contains lessons that strengthen your character. When you shift your focus to what you've learned, you transform regret into wisdom. This mindset empowers you to use your history as a tool for positive change, rather than a trap. Forgiveness is also about reclaiming your power. When you hold on to blame or guilt, you give away control to past events. Forgiving yourself takes back that control. It frees you to make new choices and create the life you want. This freedom comes with responsibility to live in alignment with your values and intentions. Forgiveness is not a one-time act, but an ongoing commitment to yourself. Many people resist forgiving themselves because they believe it means excusing bad behavior. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful actions or forgetting accountability. It means recognizing your mistakes honestly and committing to do better without being trapped by past errors. This distinction is important. Forgiving yourself is about growth and renewal, not denial or justification. The process of letting go and forgiving yourself can be challenging. It may bring up strong emotions and resistance. Be patient with yourself during this journey. Healing takes time and effort. Celebrate small steps forward and practice self-care. Remember that this work benefits every aspect of your life by reducing emotional burden and increasing mental clarity. Forgiveness also improves your relationships. When you release self-blame, you become less defensive and more open to connection. You stop projecting unresolved pain onto others. This shift fosters healthier communication and empathy. It also models emotional maturity that encourages others to heal and grow. Creating rituals around forgiveness can help solidify this practice. For example, you might write a letter to yourself expressing compassion and release. Then read it aloud or keep it as a reminder. You could develop a meditation focused on letting go or find symbolic ways to mark the end of old patterns, such as burning a paper representing regrets. These rituals make forgiveness tangible and reinforce your commitment. Recognize that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It is not dependent on others' actions or approval. Waiting for external validation can keep you stuck in pain. When you choose to forgive yourself fully, you take responsibility for your peace and happiness. This choice creates a profound shift in how you experience life. The freedom that comes from letting go of the past allows you to focus on the present and future. You gain mental space and emotional energy to pursue your goals and nurture your well-being. You become more resilient because you are no longer weighed down by old wounds. This resilience supports you through challenges and empowers you to live authentically. Every moment you spend holding on to the past is a moment lost from your potential today. Forgiveness opens the door to that potential by clearing away obstacles within. It invites you to embrace your worthiness and the possibility of new beginnings. This liberation transforms your mindset and opens new paths to success and fulfillment. Committing to forgive yourself fully is a courageous act of self-love. It demands honesty, compassion, and patience. It means acknowledging your imperfections and choosing to move forward anyway. This commitment changes how you see yourself and the world. It creates a foundation for lasting peace and growth. Start by identifying one area of your past that continues to hold power over you. Reflect honestly on the feelings and stories attached to it. Then consciously decide to release blame and open yourself to forgiveness. Use supportive practices like writing, meditation, or talking with someone you trust. Notice how your perspective shifts and how your energy changes. Over time, practicing forgiveness becomes easier and more natural. You build emotional strength that protects you from being pulled back into old patterns. You learn to meet your humanity with kindness rather than judgment. This strength allows you to face future challenges with grace and confidence. Letting go of the past and forgiving yourself fully is essential for transformation. It frees you to live without the weight of regret and fear. It empowers you to create a life that reflects your true values and potential. This freedom is the foundation for all other positive change. Your journey toward forgiveness is a path toward freedom. It is a vital step in becoming the person you want to be. When you release the past and embrace self-compassion, you open space for growth, joy, and peace. This choice changes everything. Chapter 18. Set high standards and never settle for average. Setting high standards is a commitment to excellence that shapes the quality of your life and work. It means refusing to accept mediocrity or shortcuts that undermine your potential. When you hold yourself to high expectations, you create a powerful internal drive that pushes you to perform at your best consistently. This approach demands discipline, clarity, and courage. It requires knowing what you want, why it matters, and being willing to put in the effort needed to achieve it. High standards serve as a compass guiding every decision and action toward meaningful success. Choosing never to settle for average is about rejecting complacency. Average is comfortable because it requires less effort and risk, but it rarely leads to fulfillment or growth. Settling can happen slowly and subtly through lowered expectations or excuses. Breaking free from this trap means actively challenging yourself to improve and innovate. It involves questioning habits and beliefs that keep you stagnant. When you refuse to settle, you open the door to greater opportunities and achievements that align with your true capabilities. Maintaining high standards demands self-awareness and honesty. You must understand your strengths and weaknesses clearly. This understanding allows you to set realistic, yet challenging goals. It also helps identify areas needing improvement. Regular self-assessment keeps you accountable and focused on continuous progress. Without this clarity, high standards can become vague ideals that are hard to maintain. Being specific about what excellence looks like in different parts of your life provides direction and motivation. High standards require discipline. It's not enough to want more. You must consistently act in ways that honor your goals. This means prioritizing tasks that contribute to growth and avoiding distractions or shortcuts. Discipline keeps you aligned with your standards even when motivation wanes. It builds resilience against setbacks by reinforcing a commitment to your vision. Over time, discipline becomes a habit that sustains excellence without constant struggle. Refusing to settle also means cultivating patience and persistence. Significant achievements rarely happen overnight. The path to success includes challenges and delays. High standards push you to endure these difficulties without lowering your expectations. Patience allows you to stay focused on long-term results rather than quick fixes. Persistence keeps you moving forward despite obstacles. Together, they create a mindset that values progress and refuses to accept less than what you deserve. Setting high standards influences how you interact with others. It affects your choice of friends, colleagues, and mentors. Surrounding yourself with people who share or respect your standards encourages mutual growth. It creates an environment of accountability and support. Conversely, tolerating low standards in your social or professional circle can pull you down. Being clear about your expectations in relationships helps maintain your standards and fosters positive connections. High standards also apply to how you treat yourself. Self-respect is a foundation for expecting excellence. When you value yourself, you make choices that promote well-being, growth, and integrity. This means saying no to habits or behaviors that undermine your goals. It means investing time and resources into your development. Treating yourself with care and respect reinforces your commitment to high standards in all areas of life. Clear goals are essential to uphold high standards. Without targets, it's easy to drift into complacency. Define what success means for you in concrete terms. Break these goals into actionable steps that you can measure and track. Regularly review your progress and adjust your approach as needed. This process keeps your standards alive and relevant. It transforms abstract ideals into practical achievements. The mindset behind high standards embraces learning and improvement. Mistakes and failures are not signs of inadequacy, but opportunities to refine your skills and strategies. When you hold high standards, you approach challenges with curiosity and determination. You analyze what went wrong, extract lessons, and apply them moving forward. This growth-oriented attitude prevents stagnation and fuels continuous advancement. Avoiding average means challenging societal norms or expectations that promote mediocrity. Sometimes external pressures encourage settling for less due to fear or convenience. High standards require courage to go against the grain and pursue what truly matters to you. This courage strengthens as you build confidence in your abilities and vision. Standing firm in your standards becomes easier with experience and support. Refusing to settle improves your ability to make decisions. When you know you deserve excellence, you filter options through this lens. This clarity reduces hesitation and confusion. You choose paths aligned with your values and goals, rather than defaulting to easier or more familiar choices. Decisiveness enhances your effectiveness and keeps you moving forward with purpose. The pursuit of high standards enriches your sense of fulfillment. Accomplishing goals that reflect your best effort creates deep satisfaction. This fulfillment motivates continued effort and inspires others around you. Your example demonstrates the power of commitment and integrity. It attracts opportunities and relationships that resonate with your values and ambition. Balancing high standards with self-compassion is important. Holding yourself to lofty expectations can lead to harsh self-criticism if not managed wisely. Recognize that growth is a process that includes setbacks and imperfections. Treat yourself with kindness while maintaining accountability. This balance fosters sustainable excellence without burnout or discouragement. Refuse to accept excuses that justify settling for less. Excuses limit your potential and mask fears or doubts. Challenge these narratives by focusing on what you can control. Take responsibility for your actions and outcomes. This mindset shifts power back to you and strengthens your ability to uphold high standards. Celebrate your progress regularly. Recognize improvements and milestones as evidence of your commitment. Celebrating success reinforces motivation and builds confidence. It reminds you of the value in striving for excellence and encourages continued effort. Adopt daily habits that reflect your high standards. Consistency in small actions leads to significant results over time. Whether it's punctuality, quality work, or positive attitude, these habits accumulate to shape your life's standard. Review your habits regularly and refine them to align with your evolving goals. Stay open to feedback from trusted sources. Constructive criticism helps identify blind spots and areas for improvement. Approach feedback with humility and a growth mindset. Use it as a tool to elevate your standards and performance. Understand that high standards extend beyond personal achievement. They influence how you contribute to your community and environment. Strive to make a positive impact through integrity and excellence in your actions. This broader perspective gives your standards deeper meaning and purpose. Never confuse high standards with perfectionism. Perfectionism is an unrealistic and rigid pursuit that often leads to frustration. High standards are about realistic excellence and continuous improvement. They encourage effort and progress rather than flawless outcomes. Holding high standards requires energy and focus. Manage your resources wisely to sustain your efforts. Prioritize rest, nutrition, and mental well-being to maintain your capacity to perform at your best. A healthy body and mind are essential to living up to your expectations. Build a vision that inspires you to maintain high standards. Connect your daily actions to a bigger purpose or dream. This vision provides motivation during difficult times and keeps you aligned with your goals. Revisiting your vision regularly strengthens your commitment. Embrace challenges as opportunities to prove your standard. Difficult tasks test your discipline and resolve. Facing them head-on builds confidence and reinforces your belief in yourself. Challenges become milestones in your journey toward excellence. Remember that setting high standards benefits not only you, but also those around you. Your pursuit of excellence raises the bar in your environment. It inspires others to improve and fosters a culture of quality and integrity. Your standards create ripple effects that extend beyond your immediate life. Choose to live intentionally with high standards today. Commit to never settling for average in your thoughts, actions, and decisions. This choice transforms how you experience life and what you achieve. It empowers you to become the best version of yourself and make a meaningful impact in the world. Chapter 19. Build a side project that gives your life meaning. Creating a side project that adds meaning to your life is a powerful way to expand your sense of purpose and fulfillment. Such a project acts as a personal venture outside your daily obligations, giving you space to explore passions, skills, and values that resonate deeply with who you are. Unlike a full-time career or routine responsibilities, a side project allows you to experiment, innovate, and grow on your own terms. It provides a sense of accomplishment rooted in personal significance rather than external demands. Building a meaningful side project begins with clarity about what matters most to you. This requires reflection on your interests, talents, and what brings you joy or satisfaction. The best side projects align with your authentic self and tap into motivations beyond money or status. They might involve creative work, community service, learning a new skill, or solving a problem you care about. When your side project connects with your values, it energizes you and sustains commitment through challenges. The initial step is to define a clear, specific goal for your side project. Avoid vague ambitions and focus on tangible outcomes. For example, instead of saying, "I want to write," decide, "I will write a collection of essays on topics I care about." Setting concrete goals helps you structure your time and effort. It also creates milestones that keep you motivated and measure progress. A well-defined objective gives your project direction and purpose. Next, create a realistic plan that fits your lifestyle. A side project should complement, not overwhelm, your existing responsibilities. Allocate dedicated time slots regularly, even if short, to work on it. Consistency beats intensity. Small daily or weekly actions accumulate into meaningful results. Prioritize tasks that produce visible progress and avoid perfectionism that stalls momentum. Planning reduces stress and ensures your project moves forward steadily. Focus on learning and growth as core aspects of your side project. See it as an opportunity to develop new skills or deepen knowledge in areas that interest you. Embrace mistakes and challenges as natural parts of the process. This mindset keeps you engaged and resilient, turning setbacks into valuable lessons. The growth you experience through your side project enriches your confidence and broadens your capabilities beyond the project itself. Sharing your side project with others can enhance its meaning and impact. Whether it's a blog, art, a social initiative, or a small business, connecting with an audience or community provides feedback, encouragement, and a sense of contribution. Engaging with like-minded people fosters relationships and accountability. It transforms your project from a solitary effort into a shared journey, increasing its relevance and satisfaction. Maintaining balance is crucial to sustain your side project long-term. Avoid burnout by respecting your energy levels and adjusting your goals if needed. Celebrate small wins to maintain motivation and acknowledge your dedication. Flexibility allows you to adapt your project as your interests or circumstances evolve. Remember that the purpose of a side project is enrichment, not pressure. A meaningful side project often reflects your desire to contribute or create something valuable beyond yourself. This broader perspective connects your personal growth to a larger context. It may involve helping others, raising awareness, or building something that lasts. Contributing adds depth to your work and increases fulfillment by linking your efforts to positive change. Evaluate the impact of your side project regularly. Reflect on what you have learned, how you have grown, and the effects on your life and others. This evaluation informs adjustments and helps you stay aligned with your purpose. It also reinforces the significance of your work and renews your commitment. Building a side project requires patience. Progress may be slow or non-linear, especially alongside other commitments. Persistence is key to overcoming obstacles and maintaining enthusiasm. Trust the process and focus on steady development rather than immediate success. This long-term view transforms your side project into a source of lasting meaning. Starting small is often the best approach. You don't need a grand plan to begin. A simple idea, a sketch, a prototype, or a single action can spark momentum. Taking that first step reduces overwhelm and builds confidence. Each small success fuels further effort and expands possibilities. Invest resources wisely in your side project. This may include time, money, tools, or learning materials. Prioritize essentials that directly contribute to progress. Avoid distractions or expensive distractions that don't align with your goals. Efficient use of resources enhances productivity and satisfaction. Use your side project as a testing ground for new habits and skills. It's a safe space to practice discipline, creativity, problem solving, and time management. These habits often transfer to other areas of life, amplifying your overall growth and effectiveness. Let your side project evolve naturally. Be open to changes in direction or scope as you learn more about yourself and your interests. Flexibility keeps the project fresh and relevant. Avoid rigid expectations that can lead to frustration or stagnation. Consider the legacy you want your side project to create. Think about how it aligns with your long-term vision for your life. This perspective helps maintain motivation and ensures that your efforts contribute to a meaningful narrative. A meaningful side project enriches your daily experience by providing a sense of ownership and creativity. It counters feelings of monotony or disconnection that can arise from routine. Engaging in a project that matters to you restores enthusiasm and purpose. Avoid comparing your side project to others. Each journey is unique, and success takes different forms. Focus on your own growth and the joy of creation rather than external validation. This mindset protects your motivation and authentic engagement. Building a side project fosters self-reliance. You learn to set goals, solve problems, and manage time independently. These skills strengthen your overall confidence and empower you to take control of your life's direction. Celebrate the meaning your side project brings, not just outcomes or achievements. The sense of purpose and fulfillment gained through the process often surpasses tangible results. Recognize this value and appreciate your commitment. Sharing your side project story can inspire others to pursue their own passion. Your example demonstrates how investing in meaningful work transforms life. Encouraging others multiplies the positive impact of your efforts. Commit to building your side project today by choosing a meaningful idea and taking the first step. Dedicate time regularly, stay flexible, and focus on growth. This commitment changes how you experience your life and unlocks deeper satisfaction. Your side project is more than a hobby or task. It's a declaration of your values and potential. By nurturing it, you create a space for joy, growth, and contribution. This intentional act enriches your life and shapes a legacy of meaning. Chapter 20. Start now and commit to real daily improvement. Taking the first step toward real daily improvement is the most important action you can take to transform your life. Waiting for the perfect moment or ideal conditions only delays progress and feeds procrastination. The moment you decide to start is already the perfect moment because it marks your commitment to change. Starting now means choosing action over hesitation, momentum over inertia. This choice breaks the cycle of excuses and opens the door to lasting growth. Committing to daily improvement requires more than good intentions. It demands consistency and focus. Small, deliberate actions each day build habits that accumulate into significant change over time. Improvement is rarely dramatic overnight. It is the product of steady effort. Embracing this truth frees you from unrealistic expectations and encourages patience. You understand that every positive action, no matter how minor, contributes to your development. A key part of starting now is defining what improvement means for you personally. Without clarity, it's easy to drift aimlessly or get overwhelmed. Identify specific areas where you want to grow, whether it's physical health, mental discipline, skills, relationships, or emotional resilience. Set realistic goals and break them into manageable steps. This clarity guides your daily actions and makes progress measurable and motivating. Daily improvement involves creating routines that support your goals. Structure your day around activities that move you forward. This could include reading, exercise, meditation, journaling, skill practice, or planning. Routines reduce decision fatigue by automating good behaviors. Over time, they form the foundation for a disciplined life. Consistency is the engine that drives transformation. Accountability plays a vital role in sustaining your commitment. Share your goals with a trusted person or community. Regularly report your progress and setbacks. External accountability strengthens internal motivation by creating a sense of responsibility. It also provides encouragement and perspective when challenges arise. Accountability systems keep you honest and engaged. Tracking your progress daily is another powerful practice. Record what you accomplish, lessons learned, and areas for improvement. Reflection reinforces awareness and identifies patterns. It helps you celebrate wins and adjust strategies. Seeing your growth over time boosts confidence and fuels continued effort. Tracking transforms vague desires into concrete achievements. Embrace discomfort as part of improvement. Growth often involves stepping outside your comfort zone, facing fears, and overcoming resistance. Recognize discomfort as a sign of progress, not failure. Lean into challenges and use them as opportunities to develop resilience and strength. This mindset shifts obstacles into stepping stones. Avoid all-or-nothing thinking. Improvement is a journey, not a perfect performance. Missing a day or stumbling does not erase progress. What matters is returning to your commitment without guilt or delay. Flexibility and self-compassion maintain momentum and prevent burnout. The goal is sustainable, lifelong growth. Prioritize focus over quantity. Quality in your daily actions leads to better results than trying to do too much at once. Choose meaningful tasks that align closely with your goals. Deep, intentional work produces greater impact than scattered effort. Concentrate your energy where it counts. Mindset shapes your ability to improve daily. Cultivate belief in your capacity to grow and change. Challenge limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering ones. Affirm your worthiness of success and happiness. A positive, growth-oriented mindset fuels perseverance and attracts opportunities. Use setbacks as feedback, not defeat. Everyone encounters failures or delays on the path of improvement. Instead of seeing setbacks as reasons to quit, analyze what went wrong and how to adjust. This learning approach accelerates progress and builds wisdom. Resilience grows from turning challenges into lessons. Seek inspiration from others who embody daily improvement. Study their habits, attitudes, and strategies. Let their success motivate and guide you. However, avoid unhealthy comparisons. Focus on your unique path and pace. Inspiration should empower, not discourage. Be intentional with your environment. Surround yourself with people, tools, and spaces that support your improvement goals. Remove distractions and temptations that hinder progress. An enabling environment simplifies good choices and reduces reliance on willpower alone. Celebrate progress regularly. Acknowledge your efforts and milestones, no matter how small. Celebrations reinforce positive behavior and make the journey enjoyable. Recognizing success strengthens commitment and self-esteem. Invest in your well-being to sustain improvement. Physical health, mental clarity, and emotional balance are foundations for growth. Prioritize sleep, nutrition, exercise, and stress management. A healthy body and mind enhance focus, energy, and resilience. Set boundaries to protect your time and energy. Learn to say no to activities or people that drain you or distract from your goals. Boundaries create space for what matters most. They empower you to live according to your priorities. Adapt and refine your approach continuously. Improvement is not static. Your needs and circumstances evolve. Regularly review your goals and methods. Adjust as necessary to stay effective and motivated. Flexibility ensures ongoing relevance. Commitment to daily improvement enhances all areas of life. Progress in one aspect often spills into others, creating synergy. For example, improved discipline can boost health, relationships, and career. This interconnected growth accelerates overall transformation. Avoid perfectionism by focusing on progress, not flawlessness. Perfectionism paralyzes and discourages action. Embrace imperfection as part of the process. Improvement thrives in experimentation and learning, not flawless execution. Visualize the future you want and connect it to daily actions. This vision inspires and grounds your efforts. When challenges arise, recalling your vision renews motivation and clarity. Remember that starting now and committing daily is an act of self-respect. It honors your potential and values your time. Each day you invest in yourself is a declaration that your life matters. Persistence compounds over time. The choices you make daily accumulate to shape your destiny. Even small improvements add up to extraordinary transformation. Focus on what you can control today. Worrying about the past or future wastes energy. Your power lies in the present moment and the actions you take now. Use affirmations or reminders to reinforce your commitment. Simple phrases or notes can keep your focus sharp and your attitude positive. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals and progress. Visual cues strengthen commitment and provide encouragement throughout the day. Develop a routine for morning or evening reflection. This habit enhances self-awareness and prepares you for continuous growth. Trust the process and remain patient. Real improvement unfolds gradually. Staying the course builds character and confidence. Let your commitment to daily improvement shape your identity. See yourself as a learner and achiever who grows steadily. This self-image motivates consistent action and resilience. Avoid distractions and multitasking. Focused effort yields better results and faster progress. Prioritize tasks that align directly with your improvement goals. Recognize that improvement is a personal journey. Avoid comparing your pace or path with others. Honor your unique process and celebrate your achievements. Invest time in planning and preparation. Effective organization maximizes productivity and reduces stress. Planning turns goals into actionable steps. Commit to taking responsibility for your growth. Own your successes and failures without blame. Responsibility empowers you to make meaningful changes. Maintain curiosity and openness to new ideas. Continuous learning fuels improvement and keeps you adaptable. Balance effort with rest. Recovery is essential to sustain energy and creativity. Avoid burnout by listening to your body and mind. Celebrate your commitment to improvement as a gift to yourself. This choice transforms your mindset and life experience. Begin today with a single action aligned with your goals. Momentum starts with that first step. Real daily improvement is within your reach. Starting now and committing fully changes everything. Your future depends on the choices you make today.